Hey everyone, but YouTube, you're probably watching this right now either on Rumble or on Mug Club. And by the way, everything today is free. The whole Mug Club show is free. If you haven't heard, we've been suspended yet again on YouTube. I believe I don't know how many times. Could be 9 times. Look, let me just clarify something before we get into the show here. This is a first for me and for you. This really isn't about the fact that we've been suspended again. It's that the show was suspended from YouTube. And the policy says we think it may have violated policies. Didn't tell us exactly where. But inferred that it's because of someone we had on the show, Kari Lake, likely the future governor of Arizona. Now, this is a woman who, most importantly, is fine, but she also discussed election indiscrepancies in the primary she just won. And this is the first time something like this has happened. Forgive me. By the way, we've all been up here late last night. You know, we have to have the half Asian on call, and we have to make sure that we take a lot of steps so that we are uncancelable. We have $30 off the subscription if you use the promo code Free Speech. Join or don't. I appreciate it, though. That's what keeps the lights on here. This is the first time that I know of where a current gubernatorial candidate was banned, was suspended, her speech, or his, but in this case her, a good her, was suspended for something they said about an election in which they are currently running. That's different from people saying, oh, I got banned and it's okay, yeah, you have a copyright issue, or even us, I get it, sometimes we piss people off. YouTube doesn't really clarify their own rules. They don't apply them equally, which tells you that you don't actually live in a free society if the law is not applied equally. And I know what you're going to say. Before you say this, here's one thing I want everyone out there to take away from today. By the way, how are we dealing with this? Having Kari Lake on today. So I should probably be thanking you, YouTube, because I would have her on every day if I could. And I have her on a wide screen, unlike most guests. This is no longer a private enterprise issue. Why? We'll talk with you about what the FBI, the DOJ, the IRS, and the meetings that they've had, and the open calls to action that big tech have had in enlisting the help of government agencies. This is no longer an autonomous platform, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, when they are taking their marching orders from the government. Or, for example, the CDC, who just announced that they made mistakes and they need to fundamentally restructure it. Gerald here ruined my life by quoting the CDC and criticizing them a long time ago. That resulted in a suspension. But this is a different level. This is someone who is currently running for office, questioning the integrity of the election in which she is running because she found some issues with which she had a problem. And the biggest platform, what's supposed to be an independent platform, right? And it's supposed to be an open platform, not a publisher, decided to remove this person. They are now capable of removing somebody's political platform as they are actively running despite no crime being committed. That's a terrifying prospect. It's also a good thing because this is one of the few places where we have the resources to fight it. And they done screwed up quite a bit. It's no longer just a free speech issue, though that's important. Ironically, this is now an issue for the first time in its current election meddling. They're trying to affect the outcome of an election. And I'm glad that we're here to see it, to fight back against it. I'm glad that we're here with you. I'm glad that you're watching on Rumble. You can use the hashtag Crowd on Rumble if you want to get it out everywhere else so that people know to tune in with Kari Lake on. We'll be discussing this at length. Here's what I've always said. Look, it's easy to get lost in the white noise, right? Because you have a lot of people who want to be martyrs for being suspended. We're not really angry for ourselves. I'm angry for the state of the country. I'm upset about that. This is just something that we have to deal with. It's exhausting. It's tiring, but it's not emotionally upsetting because we're used to dealing with it. So you can get lost in the white noise of people saying, I've been suspended, I've been banned. This isn't about me. It's not about anyone here. This is about you. This is about, if you're in Arizona, you want to vote for Kari Lake. Or you want to learn what it is that she stands for, even if it's something you hate. You don't have to win every fight. That's how you cut through the white noise, right? If you feel like people are losing ground, you're like, well, okay, nothing really happens. You don't have to win every fight. You just have to make them wish that they picked someone else. That's the policy here, is make them wish they picked a fight with somebody else. And eventually, they will. And eventually, if all of you are doing that, they have no one else to pick. And that's when the walls close in. So let's keep making them wish they picked someone else. Let's close in these walls. We're going to have Kari Lake here. Let's start the show. August 17th, 2022. 300 million American senses of humor were silenced on the day YouTube attacked. The survivors of the comedic cleansing called this homosexual war cancel culture. They lived only to face a new gender-neutral nightmare, the war against free speech. The big tech cabal who controlled the media outlets, the New World Order, sent bad actors and phonies through the news channels. Their mission, to destroy the core of American pride and the American dream, our culture. The resistance was able to send a lone warrior, a protector of pure comedy. It was just a question of who would reach America first.
Come with me if you want to laugh.
And the rabbit sits smoking his pipe. Name that movie line. You can comment below. You guys can do all the commenting on Rumble, right?
There's a cougar on the other side.
Yeah.
A panther.
Panther.
It's a panther,
Really
Charles. Glad to be with you here today. I hope, hopefully that, the cold open work. I always feel self-important with this stuff. It's like, sure, we get suspended, but I get it. Who really cares? It's more so about how does it affect you? How does it affect the state of the country? Let me ask you this. If conservatives and Republican candidates get banned from the mainstream big tech platforms, to where do they migrate?
Yeah.
Where? And the only thing we know how to do, is make sure that the show is free, of course, on Rumble. And, of course, you can get it on Spotify and Apple to listen to the audio version. And then we have the ability for you guys to support us through Mug Club, where we do an extra full hour. That'll be free today. So you have free content. You can pay if you want to. You're already paying more for PBS annually out of your tax dollars. I don't know if you know that.
Seriously?
So the promo code is free speech. You get, I think it's $30 off.
$30 off. They were big on this one.
We don't do Patreons. We don't do GoFundMes. I don't want no GoFundMes. I don't want no Patreons. Too many lackeys on this ship. So it's a business. We want to compete with the left as a business. If you want to join Mug Club, great. If you want to go to Crider Shop with the Fight Like Hell, whatever you want to do, we appreciate any support so that it's self-sustaining and we don't have to sit there with our cup out. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. Kari Lake's going to be on the show. She's also going to be live. She'll be at the theater, I should say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Phoenix, Arizona, September 16th. Me and Mr. Dave Landau will be there. Go to liveWithCrider.com/tour. You can check out all the dates, but now Phoenix is pretty damn important, and it's a big-ass theater. So that's another way. If you want to support, get there with a few thousand people. You'll see there are way more of you than you thought. How are you, Dave?
Good. How about you? Ahoy.
Fine. Sorry. I'm freewheeling. I'm freewheeling here.
I don't know if it's good. I think it's good that Kari's going to be coming out to the show in Arizona, and let's have Arizona come out and support.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can make it from Mexico, do that.
Oh, they can make it from Mexico.
I'm just saying, anybody can buy tickets.
Just bring a pack of fentanyl.
Yeah, it's $60-ish, $40.
That's like bring a Pepsi to Knott's Great Farm Day, where you get a discount. Just bring a bag of fentanyl to the green room.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Daddy wants his medicine.
Daddy wants his fentanyl.
Half Blue Ribbon.
Heineken and Gerald A. is here. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. I immediately took to Twitter and said, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
When I found out about
Thanks, Shaggy.
I just put a picture of us as little kids because I like putting up creepy photo
Yeah, I
shots.
saw that.
You work with the IRS too?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
life.
really quickly before we move on, you think Joe Biden won the election?
No.
No.
Control room?
Nope.
Thanks, Casey Hawking.
Yeah.
I just based that on evidence, and again, the time that you sent me out
Yes.
to Detroit to find the places that had voted, and none of them were there.
Well, it could have been the Ninja Turtles. There was a sewer.
That's true. There was a sewer. It was dead of winter.
Yes.
I assume they were dead.
Well, people vote from the elevator shaft in Grand Central.
Look, there's a lot of people that vote from a house that's been set on fire in 1968.
The truth is, there's probably a few thousand of those in Detroit. Here's the thing: is we've never made claims that we can't substantiate ourselves either.
Yeah.
I don't think Joe Biden won the election. I haven't been suspended on YouTube for saying you can say you don't think that. We've never said the Dominion voting machines because we weren't able to substantiate it. Let me let you in on a secret. Behind the scenes, we've worked with a lot of these people who've tried to bring the cases, and some of them didn't actually hold merit. Or we said, hold on a second, can we look at some of this evidence that you have? And when we never heard a response, we have not gone in on, and it may be true, it may not, but we weren't able to verify it. We verified a lot of indiscrepancies ourselves. And I believe that Kari Lake is doing that as well. I mean, Maricopa County, there's nary a corruption to be found.
Well, we have to admonish you. It's not indiscrepancies, it's discrepancies.
What's that, discrepancies?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Just discrepancies.
I'm tired. Admonish me. And then be sure to keep that ready when he ends his phrase with at.
No.
Well, yeah.
Where you at?
We were on your show going back and forth. I wasn't on your show yet during the election, but we were going back and forth with my old show.
Yeah.
And in Wayne County, Michigan, they had called that Trump had won.
Yes.
And that's when I started noticing it was a little fishy because all of a sudden, the next morning, he didn't.
Yes.
And it was very bizarre because when people showed up, they were like, hey, what's going on in there? And they started covering up the windows as if it was Night of the Living Dead.
Yes.
And I thought, this seems odd.
No, I remember talking at election night. We had 16-something million viewers here on the show on election night, and we didn't know what was happening. We were living it live. Donald Trump had been declared the winner in Wayne County.
In Wayne County.
I took a nap, and then he wasn't.
Exactly.
Well, I was doing
it was insane.
This is how you create extremists, YouTube and big tech.
Right.
Is when someone wakes up from a nap and like, everything changed?
Really?
The entire political landscape of our country changed? I was in a hammock for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you see, this guy brought a cooler of mail-in votes, and it just so happened.
No. Camera equipment in a cooler because that's how people transport.
It happened that quickly. Hope you had a hell of a piss, Arnold. What were you about to say?
I was going to say, like, we saw it live, and I was doing math, and you were like, where did you get this from? I was like, I was just doing the math live. I was like, Donald Trump is getting more votes in these places than he did in 2016.
Yeah.
There was no way in the world anybody thought, and the Young Turks people, they were crying because they thought he had lost. Everybody thought he'd lost.
Of course, they thought
Biden had lost.
No, you were right. They thought President Kamala Harris had lost.
That's true. No, I mean it makes a lot of sense, and we've detailed the things that you should be skeptical about too. Pennsylvania changing their own laws, going against their own constitution. Like, I don't understand why that's a controversial thing. You should be able to talk about that, if for no other reason than to point.
Hold on a second. Do I have to admonish you? Do you really not understand why it's a controversial thing?
No, I'm saying that there's no plausible explanation for why it's controversial.
But you do understand.
Of course I understand.
Yes.
I'm not an idiot. But I'd sometimes play one on this show. No, but I mean, you should be able to talk about that if for no other reason than to say, here's why it was okay.
You know who should definitely be able to talk about election integrity? Not just Amy Klobuchar, not just, he's oddly turning into the Planters peanut guy himself, Jimmy Carter, not just Elizabeth Warren, E.T. phone home, but a current gubernatorial candidate. Who's running in one of the most controversial, counties, obviously running in the state, but Maricopa County. This is the center of a lot of controversy. You're talking about a state that was won by a margin of 10, 12,000 votes?
Yeah, it was very
saying, hey, look, this is something we just won a primary. We also saw some issues taking place. Didn't say that it was stolen. Didn't say that the ghost of Hugo Chavez came in and hacked the voting machines. Just said we have to look into this. And keep in mind, Kari Lake won. So whenever someone says, this is what's so important, and I think this is why they suspended it, because they used to try and say, Donald Trump just can't handle that he lost. Where are they when they win? Well, we see it with the left. Right? It was election fraud, all the way up until and including 2019. We'll show you some clips. And then afterwards, this is the safest and most secure election in history. Kari Lake won. She's likely the next governor of Arizona. And I hope you in Arizona right now watching make that happen. And she's still saying, by the way, we want to make sure that if we win honestly. She stands nothing to gain Think about that for a second. She stands to lose a lot being deplatformed, right? If you're not on Facebook, Twitter, on YouTube, if you're not on these platforms, you might as well not exist in a lot of ways until conservatives effectively start. She stands to lose a lot and nothing to gain. The dame already won. That's a respectful term. You don't need it. She's not offended. Why should you be?
Well, it's time for America to just open their eyes. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's something that's being hidden from you. It's not hate speech. It's not anything. It's not anything that you should even be offended by. It's your voting rights that are being manipulated, and somebody's pointing it out who just won.
Yeah.
That's extremely important.
Let's do the math, okay? She was a Democrat for a short amount of time. She's been open about it, right? So she's anti-war. She would be seen as certainly not a far right-wing extremist, certainly not a George W. Bush Republican, but again, he was an extremist, and now he's the moderate, according to the Democrats. Like, well, he actually never hated Bush that much, so they just always change it, right? They're going to do the same thing with any other Republican. For example, see Kari Lake. Okay.
Right.
She was a successful reporter.
Yep.
Popular. Okay. She didn't need this. Doesn't need the money. Doesn't need the exposure. She's hot. She won. That's who you want going out and speaking the truth when they stand nothing to gain. That's what defines someone's character, is what they do either when nobody's watching or how they treat people when they stand nothing to gain from that person. That's always the way you look and see a potential spouse. How do they treat the waitstaff? They treat them like crap. You beat them.
I don't think the last part is
the weight stuff, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, look, everyone does push-ups.
Yeah, of course.
I play by Marine rules. I think actually we have some breaking news really quickly. In other breaking news, God has a sense of humor. Okay. Do we have anything else we need to mention before Crowder on Rumble? If you guys want to get that hashtag going, great. If you don't, that's fine. This is all you guys. Whatever you want is what we'll do today.
It feels weird. It's like we can actually speak the truth.
No, we can always say what we want. You just have to be careful with YouTube
without censoring any part of it.
No, we would have been ripped off
11
times by now, and we've only been on for 8
Well, remember,
minutes.
I turned to Gerald. I don't think you were there. I turned to Gerald after Kari Lake was on, and I went, oof.
Oh, I just... The second she said the voting machines, I saw your face.
Oh boy.
You were like, oh.
And then I was like, no. I think you and I did a slow clap. We were like, you know what? Let's lean into this.
Clap,
you did.
Yeah, it would make it seem like, hey, you can't.
That's in the clip.
You've got balls of steel. Got prairie dog balls of steel, this guy.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Can't say balls.
Yes, you can.
You can upload hardcore homosexual pornography to YouTube. You just can't say, hey, maybe the election wasn't all on the up and up.
Yeah. And with
let's play Dick or Dildo.
Yeah.
Yes. By the way, we're also going to try and get banned from TikTok today.
Are we?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We've been suspended from Facebook, not right now, but YouTube. Let's go for a hat trick. But we've been banned from TikTok. This is the new account, right? We're trying to ban the next account. I don't care. Burn it all down. All right.
We care a little.
We do care a little.
Not about TikTok, though.
No, not about TikTok.
I don't give a rat's ass about TikTok.
No.
Have you seen their ads? TikTok taught me. Taught you what? How to hate your dad and disappoint your family?
Oh, yes, it did.
On video?
Did it teach you how to cook and be a lady?
Yeah. Did it teach you to charge overtime hours as a nurse for dancing?
Did it teach you to be a gentleman? I don't think so.
Gentle Z? Z's are what we are now. And can people can they can comment on Rumble.
We got the smash the Rumble button.
Oh, there's the Rumble button. That's right. Hey, by the way, guys, nothing would make me happier, than to never have to broadcast on YouTube again. More of you guys need to migrate to Rumble. More of you guys need to go to Mug Club. You can listen to us on audio. You'll always get the same amount of free content. We'll never pull that away from you. As a matter of fact, we'll add free content as we continue to grow. But you guys have to, a lot of conservatives say, why are you still on YouTube? Well, look at the numbers. There are clearly a lot of conservatives there on YouTube and not on a place like Rumble. I get it. None of these places are perfect, but you've got to give it the college try. Nothing would thrill me more greatly than to never broadcast on YouTube. It's a pain in the ass. Here we go. A quick watch and react before we move into something that's really important here today. Not only libs of TikTok who've been reinstated, but we're going to talk about the FBI, the IRS, the DOJ, the connections with big tech, the CDC. It's not a question of free enterprise. It's not a question of a private business being able to implement their own laws because they're not treated as a publisher. They're treated as a platform. And we'll talk with Kari Lake about that. But first, a Kansas City pastor, it isn't necessarily new, but he just apologized for this. That part is new.
Oh.
This is a gentleman of color. I believe that's the proper term.
Oh, I know this guy.
Preaching about the size of his wallet.
See, that's how I know you still poor, broke, busted, and disgusted, because of how you've been honoring me. I'm not worth your McDonald's money. Come on. I'm not worth your Red Lobster money.
There's a lady stuffing the roll that she stole back in her purse.
Y'all can't afford it no how.
Oh, wow.
I ain't worth y'all Louis Vuitton. Come on. I ain't worth your Prada. Come on. I'm not worth your Gucci. Come on. Mother, I'm saying this, and I promise you, Deacon, it is not with respect and want. I'm saying it because I want you to understand just what God is saying. I even found out that Movado, you can buy a Movado watch in Sam's. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And y'all know I asked for one last year. Here it is the whole way in August. I still ain't got it. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Let me kick down the door and talk to my cheap sons and daughters.
Holy crap. That is actually worse than the parody in Don't Be a Menace.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, don't ask, no questions.
I ain't got no money in the walls.
Don't ask why I got a nice house.
I ain't worth your Joel Osteen shit.
Don't ask why I drive a nice car.
You can buy my Movado at Sam's.
Give me your watch.
Yes,
Give me
you
your
can, Pastor.
shoes.
Y'all sheep don't want your shepherd to ride a Maybach like motherfucking skis.
Ooh, that's a nice leather belt. Take it off. Take it off, brother.
Wow.
Pass that
Oh,
plate around.
Jesus.
Put your cufflinks in it.
Guess who that money is not for, Pastor? You.
Yep.
I ain't worth your Red Lobster money might be the most ghetto sentence of all time.
Yeah. That's like the precious of pastors.
Yeah,
Which, by the way,
I ain't worth your
I am
whole
just being
corral
clear.
money.
Precious is the most racist film that's ever been made. I watched that film with an open mind and an empty stomach. And there was a scene where she came back from not being able to read. She was illiterate, pregnant as a teenager, stealing a bucket of fried chicken. I go, this is the most racist thing I can possibly imagine. This made it through the writer's room?
Raped by her dad, and then you had Monique, who was like the most ghetto mom in the history of movies.
What you expect from Mo apostrophe.
Well, she won, but she won an Oscar for it.
Well, she was incredible in that film.
She's amazing in it.
But it's a horrible movie.
Right, but it's like it's not exactly shining the best light.
No.
Is what I mean.
I was like, okay, how am I supposed to, what am I supposed to do here? What white guilt am I supposed to, just tell me how I'm supposed to feel?
Oh, I felt bad for her. I'll give you, I felt very bad for her.
Am I pro-illiterate stealing a bucket of fried chicken? Does that make me, is this supposed to be me examining myself? Because I don't understand what we're doing anymore. All right.
There wasn't a person on earth who saw that scene and wasn't like, this, everybody else uncomfortable?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look at this. I found, my brother sent me this since we're on Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, this is a tactical shovel. Look at that. It's a shovel with a blade.
Oh, wow.
So many weapons in this office. I find a new one every day.
Why did you come in with it?
No, it was under my seat.
I told you I wasn't the
They
reason.
claim it's for Russian special forces, but, that's just a bunch of drunken conscripts.
Yeah. Getting into frozen ground. Good luck.
So let's get to what we need to discuss here today. The YouTube overlords, of course, they banned the channel. All right, you know that because of something that Kari Lake said. This is what they told us. Content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches change the outcome of the U.S. 2020 presidential election is not allowed on YouTube. She didn't say that specifically. She said she didn't believe that Joe Biden won the election, and then she talked about glitches in Maricopa County, the state where she is going to be governor, a county in the state where she is going to be governor. So here is actually a clip of the violation, we think, in question, to make sure that our audience understands, what do you mean when you say illegitimate federal government by Joe Biden?
Well, I don't believe Joe Biden won the election, and we had problems with the 2020 election. I've talked about that. They've criticized me for that, but I've looked at the facts. I have looked over our forensic audit. I've looked over all kinds of evidence, and we had a botched, corrupt election in Arizona and in many other states. And this is why it's really important that we do look at our elections. That's why it's one of my top issues to reform our elections here in Arizona. I want to make sure that we have honest elections. And that doesn't mean we get the advantage as Republicans. It means that there is no advantage to either side, but that all voters, whether they be Democrat, Independent, or Republican, or not affiliated, really, that they go to bed on election night A, they know the winner. We're not counting ballots for 10 days. And B, they feel comfortable with the winner even if it wasn't their guy because they know the system is honest. That's all we ask for. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it really is, isn't
it? That's controversial.
What?
What she just said.
Oh, I thought you meant that she's hot.
Stop it.
No way.
That's not controversial. That's a matter of record.
I heard the thump on your desk.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Stop it.
That's what I'm here for.
I hate all that.
No. She's a future governor of the world. So, look.
Not how it works.
This is the difference. By banning the channel, suspending the channel, indefinite. I think it's 2 weeks, but it could be indefinitely. And by the way, our Crowder Bits channel is also suspended.
Yes.
Just so you know. Not suspended, sorry. They've let us know that it would be considered circumventing
by
YouTube rules by proxy, even though it doesn't really apply that way to everybody else.
Right.
Because there was no violation on Crowder Bits. That's why Crowder on Rumble, hashtag get it going. You can join Mug Club, free speech. You get $30 off right now. Whatever you want to do to support it. We cannot do anything for 2 weeks on YouTube, which is kind of a blessing in disguise. And by disguise, I mean crappy disguise. It's like the little rascals on the shoulders with the trench coat. Like, it's just a blessing.
Yes.
It's a break.
Brian Stelter's having a good day.
Oh, yeah. Well, for him, I mean, for crying out loud, if he wakes up and his CPAC didn't go down, he's having a good day.
That makes two of us.
He sleeps like a bulldog. You have to put him in a Barca-lounger, and you have to open up his nasal cavity.
Oh, poor guy.
He dies 19 times a night.
Way more drool. Yeah, you just have to revive him.
Yeah. His wife has a sneeze guard. All right.
Throwing nitroglycerin pills like attacks.
Here's the thing. Lake is probably going to be the next governor of Arizona. Better than 50% chance. Okay, she made it through the primary. Arizona, purple state, largely Republican. All right. Unless they get enough illegal immigrants, and that's going to eventually backfire on the left because the illegal immigrants are not necessarily pro-LGBTQ AAIP. I don't even think they actually have that acronym in their language. This is, of course, something that is important because Kari Lake would have the power to investigate voter fraud. Not only that, think about Governor Ron DeSantis, who created that law regarding big tech.
Yep.
Right, in 320, that you could sue them if they remove you, especially if you're a political candidate.
Yep.
If more states follow suit, guess what? Big tech, all of a sudden, their biggest states, it becomes a problem for them. So they are removing someone who can have a direct impact on the kinds of laws that they lobby for. By the way, to the tune of 99% if you look at their political donations. The most powerful companies in existence. It's not big oil, okay? It's not big pharma. Facebook, Instagram, Meta, as they call it. Stupid name.
Yeah.
Twitter, well, less so Twitter, but certainly Alphabet, YouTube, Google, and then you have Amazon, Apple. It's not a conspiracy if it only requires 5 CEOs to get on a phone to deplatform someone who is currently in the lead for office. Now, here's something, too, that I think is important. It's not whether you live in a country that has laws, and it's not a private platform. If there's nothing else that I make crystal clear for you today, big tech, they are a proxy for the government. They have said so, and we'll get to that. It's whether you live in a country that applies the laws equally. Leftists, you understand that because you've talked about selective prosecution of minorities. Well, okay, in this case, we should talk about, is there selective enforcement of laws across the board as it relates to free speech? Well, I don't know if you've done some research. We have.
Yeah.
Here are Democrats making, you be the judge if they're making similar claims.
Do you think, though, that what we're learning from Donna Brazil's book suggests that the campaign, that what the Democratic National Committee did, meant this election was rigged? I think it was.
But do you think that there was deliberate interference in the election?
Yes. And I believe it began 8 years ago with the systematic disenfranchisement of more than 1 million voters. It continued with the underfunding and disinvestment in polling places, in training, and in the management of the county delivery of services. And I think it had its pinnacle in this race.
Bitch,
There's no doubt that the Russians did interfere in the election. And I think the interference, although not yet quantified, if fully investigated, would show that Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because...
About to go sell used cars with that bolo tie.
Yeah, that is not a good look ever.
So do you believe President Trump is an illegitimate president?
Based on what I just said, which I can't retract.
the bolo tie really brings out your liver spots.
He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did. And I take responsibility for those parts of it that I should. But, Jane, it was like applying for a job.
Like being a horrible human being.
66 million
like killing a guy?
letters of recommendation and losing to a corrupt human tornado. And so I know that he knows that this wasn't on the level. I don't know that we'll ever know everything that happened, but clearly we know a lot and are learning more every day, and history will probably sort it all out.
Murderer.
Huh.
Chelsea's Apple Watch goes off. He's gone.
His brakes don't work.
Yeah. Chelsea's got some tiggle bitty.
Hey, by the way, I just spoiler alert, didn't pull those videos from Rumble. You can still find them. Is Donald Trump an illegitimate president? Now, he just presented an argument. I mean, I don't think he knows what he said prior. I think he was confused by the question. He's like, where am I? But this is something that he made a claim. Now, I don't think that Joe Biden won. I think there was some foul play. Donald Trump is an illegitimate president. And with certainly more evidence to the contrary of the Russian collusion hoax, they still made that claim. This is something that is remarkable. It's not, oh, he said, she said. It's they made the case. They were given a platform and algorithmically boosted to promote what was verifiably a lie after multiple investigations versus, hey, we want an investigation of our own that would be appropriate. And by the way, it wasn't just us, Kari Lake, who the big tech overlords went after last night, which brings us to curious coincidences. Yeah, last night our friends at Libs of TikTok, their Facebook account was disabled for violating community standards. This says right here, it says Facebook just suspended our account, no reason given. And they were reinstated, to be clear, after there was a huge outcry. But let's think about this for a second. Okay, so we're suspended, and Kari Lake is on the show, right?
Yeah.
Kari Lake, thanks, Kari. Libs of TikTok, same night. Election day is less than 3 months away. Let's think about this. It's not an attack on me or Libs of TikTok or Kari Lake. It's an attack on you, just to be clear.
By the way, you know what they wanted you to do? They said it in the email when they strike you. We went through the video and we didn't find any, what they said, context is what you should have added. No. What they wanted you to do was correct her. That's what they were asking you to do. Correct Kari Lake. Be the arbiter of
she's a beagle?
Truth. Exactly.
Put her in a flea helmet?
Correct somebody who's running for governor who expresses an opinion about an election and somebody who is actively looking into those claims to make sure that they get prosecuted if they're true.
And has more access to the voting in her county.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you correct that?
Well, I understand.
Supposed to correct.
Look, YouTube saying I'm supposed to correct the guest.
State.
Understood. Counterpoint. I'll encourage the guest. I think it's fair.
What? But nobody can tell you to correct somebody.
No, that's what they want.
You just sounded like, what, Dave? You just sounded like Bill Cosby just now. Win the election, put it in reverse.
But it's fine, just drinking, bitch.
By the way, this is a live show Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. You can watch it on Rumble. The podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to audio, and of course, Mug Club. loudescrider.com/Mug Club. You get $30 off if you use the promo code free speech. Today, it's all free. Okay.
That's insane, though.
It's insane. They want me to correct her. And you know what?
That's not right.
I'm not gonna.
No, nor should you.
You're wrong.
Okay, fine. Look, then let me be wrong. If this is wrong, then I don't want to be right.
I don't want to be right.
But you'll get monkeypox.
So let me kind of give you a
you
case.
Have monkeypox.
Yes. Don't you love that, Ned? Like, it seems that monkeypox isn't spread through skin lesions. Can you bring that back up, the NBC overlay?
Awesome.
But particularly sex between men. Hey, can we revisit the case with the children and the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, those would be...
Seriously.
I'm not saying they were screwing that kid. I'm 98% statistically sure.
No, I'm just saying we're the only show that was like, hey, you want to dig a little deeper into that one?
What? Your bloodhound doesn't have anal fissures?
Come on.
Weird.
What, yours doesn't walk bow-legged all the time?
Help me. It's just an old pug in a latex onesie walking across the floor.
Poor dog.
I got a wiener dog.
Yeah.
It's a ball gag in it.
Yeah.
They're all wiener dogs. Yeah. I'm just saying, revisit it. Is there not a reason to investigate that?
I think there is.
It's like, hey, it seems that now the science says that it's a sex between men that spreads it. We know that to the tune of about 98%. 97 is the low, 100% is the high. Take an average. 98%.
The guy who buys 80 jars of dog butter every time he walks into PetSmart.
Well, CNN, when we went live.
Yes. But then also, these two men who adopt gay men, and the kid got monkeypox. And you're just like,
it's
high likelihood.
Yeah.
CNN, when we went live, said that they're giving out monkeypox vaccinations for free at events that are frequented by highly at-risk groups. And I'm like, can you just say gay sex orgies in the streets?
Yes.
Well, what it is you go in and you just lick Brian Stelter.
Yes. You build up a natural immunity.
Yeah, just antibodies.
It's got a microbial slime.
Yeah. Although your feet turn into Crocs.
Yes. My head is a biofilm.
Give a disease, leave a disease.
Brian Stelter's 2, Secret of the Use. Okay.
Give it a kiss.
Here's the thing. I want to make the case for you so you understand. All references are available at loudofcrowder.com. Okay. This is not just big tech going after people like Kari Lake or myself or libs of TikTok. This is the government. It is one and the same. Big tech has specified this. So if you ever hear the argument from the silly libertarians who think that legalizing black tar heroin will solve all our problems and that NFTs are the way of the future, and by the way, whatever you want to do, I don't care. But my point is those people are dumb. Now, no, this isn't a private business issue. Why? Okay, well, let me give you a few examples. This week, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, just so you know, announced in one of their posts that it would be cracking down on, quote, disinformation ahead of the 2022 midterms. Quote, we've focused on preventing voter interference, connecting people with reliable information, and providing industry-leading transparency for ads about social issues, elections, and politics. And by the way, this comes after Meta, Facebook, this company, announced that it would limit political content in news feeds. What kind of political content? Content relating to high inflation, gas prices, the IRS, terrible foreign policy. Think about that for a second. Why would you limit any content? Used to be election meddling.
Yeah.
Right? They used to say, well, you can't say hate speech. Now they're going to limit content about inflation?
They don't want you to see it.
It couldn't possibly be more boring and relevant.
By the way, I love when they say reliable information. According to who?
The CDC. You can't post about the IRS according to the IRS. And that brings us to some other issues that we've seen. In case you've forgotten, former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. That's right. I always mix them up. You have people like Ray, you have McCabe, you have Comey. Brennan was another guy. You know, they're all assholes.
It's true.
It's all assholes nowadays, kids. Director Andrew McCabe, this is a guy who works for the FBI who Facebook, Twitter, Alphabet use as a reliable source, along with the CDC. I don't know if they will now that they're completely restructuring.
Probably not.
Andrew McCabe, head of the FBI, likened conservatives and parents, to domestic extremists.
Are you going to catch this threat if your focus is only on the traditional right-wing extremists?
Tell us, Sideshow Bob.
Know about the quote-unquote fringes of the right-wing movement. And I think the answer to that is no. I can tell you from my perspective of spending a lot of time focused on the radicalization of international terrorists and Islamic extremists and extremists of all stripes. What we are seeing and what Professor Pape's research makes clear is that this group shares many of the same characteristics of those groups that we've seen radicalized along entirely different ideological lines. This wave of political violence.
They're blowing themselves up on planes?
Confined to the Capitol. It's going on in school boards around the country. It's going on in local elections. It's happening, even to healthcare workers.
Okay, so he likened conservatives, to terrorists, radicalized terrorists, just to be clear. Here's how you know it's not true, okay? Put yourself in this headspace for a second. Close your eyes. All right. Imagine you were on a plane, okay? 7:47. And a guy, in a ticking sport jacket and a turban stands up and you think, oh no. And he yells out, men are men and women are women, and sits back down. Would you count your lucky stars that you got off scot-free? Yes, this is what we are dealing with, and the FBI is monitoring you.
I don't know if I'd be able to hear him in Coach.
Everybody shut up. I have the best of Thomas Sowell. Sits back down. Yeah.
I don't agree with all of it.
I don't, but
I do agree with many.
I don't agree with what you say, but I will fight for your right to say it. Also, next time I don't want a middle seat, but you do what you can. That's...
This plane is going to land exactly where it's supposed to.
This is the last time I sit next to Kevin Smith. He needs to pay for 2 seats. Now, I'm not going to play the clip because we have Kari Lake coming on here soon, and we'll continue the segment after that. But James O'Keefe, obviously Project Veritas, they had an internal bulletin on domestic violent extremists. Let me just give you a recap. According to the DHS, you can be labeled an extremist. And by the way, this is what Facebook, YouTube, Google, Twitter, they all use as their guidelines. According to the DHS, you can be labeled an extremist if you happen to think that the government is overstepping its bounds. In other words, if you're conservative. If you think there might be a chance that elections aren't 100% fair. And if you had any doubt as to what the intelligence community thinks of you, the former CIA director, Michael Hayden, cleared it up on his Twitter yesterday. Because, this probably needs a little bit of clarity.
Yeah.
He responded to a tweet calling Republicans the most nihilistic, dangerous, and contemptible force in politics. Here's what he said. This is what the former CIA director said. I agree. And I was a CIA director.
I watched all of them.
And now we add 80,000 plus agents to the IRS. Well, sorry, employees. So we have Meta, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, the FBI, the DHS. They're all on the same page. Throttle content by labeling extremists or labeling it disinformation. And then, of course, the government can't technically throttle free speech. So what do? They have other people. They have their lackeys. They have their cronies go in and do it. It's their Sammy the Bull. That's Facebook. That's Twitter. That's YouTube. Let me give you a few examples of, by the way, collusion between big tech and these intelligence communities. And Kari Lake, I know, is here. We'll get there in just 2 minutes. Just want to get this in to set the stage so that she doesn't have to do all that legwork and then, get banned from Rumble. April 2021. I'm just going to rattle these off here. New York Times writer and COVID critic Alex Berenson, he provided concrete evidence that the White House officials colluded with Twitter to ban him. Okay? He posted the documents showing Twitter employees discussing a meeting with Andy Slavitt, the senior advisor to President Biden's COVID-19 response team. Okay, this is what they said. How was the White House? Overall, pretty good. They had one really tough question about why Alex Berenson hasn't been kicked off the platform. Then he was banned 3 months later. Here's some more examples. September 2019, big tech officials, companies like Facebook, right, the usual bad actors, they met with the U.S. intelligence community to discuss election integrity. That's kind of relevant to today. Another time in 2019, CIA's Aaron Burnham left the agency to become the senior product policy manager for misinformation. Where? At Meta, Facebook, Instagram. This is what happens, right? We talk about these unelected officials, for example, like Fauci. That's what, when people talk about the swamp, we're not just talking about your representatives. We're talking about people who are representative of no one. And what happens is they used to become lobbyists, right, for maybe the pork industry, or maybe some of you would talk about firearms. Now they go and work for big tech. It's a revolving door of bullshit. CIA, FBI, go to Facebook, maybe come back in, maybe go to the CDC, act as a consultant. So the CIA's Aaron Berman left the agency to become the senior product policy manager for misinformation at Meta. We just saw the other CIA guy. Can't remember his name. I always forget all these stupid names. Asshole. Who then said, you're right, and I was at the CIA. We now see when the veil is lifted and they're no longer forced to act as though they're unbiased because the FBI and the CIA still think that we buy that, they say, oh, by the way, no, none of that. Everything that I just said was bullshit. 2019, FBI's Director Don Burton became a Senior Director of Strategy and Operations for Legal, Public Policy, Trust, and Safety, where? Twitter. March 2020, FBI's Karen Walsh became Twitter's Director of Corporate Resilience. February 2020, Mark Zuckerberg called for more government regulation of social media. Why would he do that? Think about that. Why do the big boys always support Democrats? All of them support Democrats, overwhelmingly. Didn't we think that Republicans were the party of big business? Let's look at the donations from Zuckerberg, from Bezos, from Wojcicki, from any of these people, not to mention their employees. Okay? October 2020, Twitter, Facebook blocked the spread of the Hunter Biden story. You guys remember that? Of course, whistleblowers said that the FBI colluded. We have December 2021, Dr. Fauci I use that term loosely, colluded with Wired Magazine and Facebook to censor the Great Barrington Declaration. For those of you who don't remember, that was saying that lockdowns don't work. And by the way, now the CDC says we might have been wrong about a whole lot of that. July 2021, the White House admitted to flagging content to Facebook they considered COVID disinformation. And of course, that content was removed because they used CDC and the White House to establish their guidelines. Oh, and by the way, they got rid of the dislike button because there's never been a president, former vice president, more disliked than Joe Biden. Don't forget, February 2022, Jen Psaki was so comfortable in the authoritarianism that she encouraged Spotify on a public platform openly to censor what she declared COVID misinformation, or as we know it now, shit the CDC was wrong about.
So our hope is that all major tech platforms and all major news sources, for that matter, be responsible and be vigilant to ensure the American people have access to accurate information on something as significant as COVID-19. That certainly includes Spotify. So this disclaimer, it's a positive step, but we want every platform to continue doing more to call out mis and disinformation while also uplifting accurate information.
Now, I will give her credit. I understand that maybe she was earnest. She didn't want misinformation spreading. She even believes that the vaccine is 100% effective, even when it comes to her own family. Here's actually a recent video of Jen Psaki getting, actually giving her husband the 11th booster.
You might feel a little prick.
Two final examples. You know what? Look, what they do in their own bedroom is their own business. March 2022, ex-CIA data and intelligence analyst Deborah Borman joined Meta as a trust and safety project manager. And of course, the little mundane detail that in April of this year, the former Vice President Biden administration attempted to set up what was effectively a ministry of truth until the backlash forced them to close down. All references are available at louderwithcrowder.com, and very few of them, if any, are conservative sources. You can see it's Washington Post, it's Wall Street Journal, it's New York Times. Are you starting to understand that it's not about private businesses? They are the enforcers of the government. And this is the first time today that I can think of where they removed a winning current gubernatorial candidate whose policies and platform can directly affect their bottom line. A bottom line, by the way, that's padded through disinformation and dishonesty, which brings me to, I'm really glad, I believe we have her. She's back, Kari Lake. All right.
I can't believe I'm in such trouble. I heard yesterday I got you banned, and I'm like, I was racking my brain going, what did I say? What did we talk about? Did I go there with something I shouldn't have? And then I just heard the clip. It's insane.
Well, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. And by the way, I'm not upset at all. You can get me banned any day. It's okay.
How much is it costing you, really? I mean, is it a week or two off of YouTube?
Well, I will tell you that we've been demonetized entirely, for years. And so, Jill, I mean, that's a couple $1 million.
Well, it would be significant money if we were still monetized.
That's what I'm saying, if we were still monetized.
Yeah.
No, we're already demonetized, right? They said you're demonetized. This was a long time ago, and even though we didn't violate any rules, and so I said, look, if you want to demonetize us, that's fine. I don't think that I'm entitled to earning a living from ads off of your website, even though it's not really applied equally. But I said, as long as our content, is given the same playing field, and by the way, I'll make sure all of our sources are publicly referenced. That was kind of the agreement, and now, well, you just blew it all to hell. Thanks.
I think you touched on it, though. I'm going to do what Governor DeSantis did. You're not going to take away people's freedom of speech in Arizona.
Right.
And they're afraid. They're so afraid of governors who are actually there doing the right thing by the people that they have to keep us out of office any way possible.
Well, I think there are a couple of things. I've sort of had to live this, by the way, too, and Dave is often the same way. We come from, the entertainment industry, and so there are certain shows where I haven't been welcomed because they're looking for a conservative whipping post, right? It's this sort of archetype. They go, oh, old, out of touch white guy, old fogey. Well, I was raised in French Canada. I'm bilingual. It was a French, it was a socialist French province, and I lived out of my car. And I come at this from an entertainment industry angle. I have experience there, not conservative nonprofits. You're a woman, not an old white guy. You worked in media for a long time, and you are an outsider. And it's tough for them to just throw the stereotypes at you. So it's easier to remove you.
Oh, they have to. I mean, they don't know what to do with us. I'm speaking to that elusive suburban mom vote because I am one. And, we have a Moms for Kari group that's massive. We are reaching people. They've been trying to tell everyone that the conservatives are the crazy ones, and we're the ones who are speaking the truth right now. And we're growing so fast, they're panicked. They made fun of President Trump, called him Orange Man, all that stupid stuff, when he was really there trying to help America. And they're trying to find something to pick on me with, and they can't seem to find it. And so therefore, they just have to cancel us altogether. But the great thing is when you're canceled, it's even more freeing. You just kind of go, okay, I've already been canceled. Now I can really speak the truth.
No, you're absolutely. Well, if they can't make you seem, ugly and dumb, they'll just go with, oh, she must be mean. Right, she must be mean. She must be one of the cool girls. That's what they do. They go either dumb or evil. That's their playbook against Republicans. And by the way, it's KariLake.com. You are on Twitter at Kari Lake. If people want to support her, you can tweet.
I'm on Twitter now, but who knows after today?
Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know if they can remove us for Rumble, but we'll do our level best. I wanted to, before we continue with this, because I wanted to talk specifically about our interview. You've been making waves across other platforms as well, particularly on social media, for some of your comments elsewhere, which, spoiler, I loved. Roll clip.
He's right up there right now, and his name is Governor Ron DeSantis. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit. I just got to spend time with him. Love the guy. Fantastic. He is gutsy. The guy has bigger... Okay. Wait, let me think about how I want to word this. My staff always says, whatever you do, do not say balls. So I'm not going to say it. That guy has a backbone made of steel. I'll tell you what he's got. I don't know if you heard of this, but he's got BDE. Anybody know what that means? Ask your kids about it later.
And by the way, I love that you're like, we can't say balls. No, you can say balls. You can't say, hey, maybe there's something untoward with the election. That's what we live in.
You're right. Just don't say election.
Yes, you're exactly right. Just don't say that monkeypox is, not a pandemic for everybody. And now they come around and say, okay, monkeypox isn't a pandemic for everybody.
By the way, by BDE, I meant Big DeSantis Energy.
Well, I know that's how you sort of look. You gave yourself a back door on that one, but you also said that Donald Trump has BDE, which my follow-up is, can you think of is there anyone else who might?
Big Donald Energy. Maybe that's what I meant. I'm trying to clean up what, the kids are talking about.
Yes.
And by kids, then it was funny, like Twitter went crazy. They're trying to create this controversy. I'm like, oh gosh, you've got no sense of humor. There's no sense. They're acting like I'm telling people to ask their 4-year-old kid what it means. Remember, I have kids who are 18 and 19.
Right.
So I'm saying ask your kids, teenagers, older kids, what that means.
Right. Meanwhile, on YouTube, they actually have what is effectively softcore gay pornography that kids can access that is not even age restricted. But if you say, God forbid, the word balls, they want to act as though they're offended. They really are the shrinking violets now. They're the pearl clutchers. Can you believe she said this? I saw people saying, this is classless. I'm going, what are you talking about? Do you have any idea what these people have said? Not to mention, allegedly, some Democrats have had people whacked. That offends me more.
That offends me a lot right now, considering what position I'm in. Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, no. By the way, Stephen, you have it too. I missed my opportunity to tell you that.
Oh, okay. Well, yes. I refer to myself as Donald. And DeSantis, whichever one's most convenient. Let me ask you this. Were you surprised to see YouTube jump in and silence you from our interview?
No, they've taken down interviews that we've done, with OAN and other networks, and we contact them and say, what did we say in there? We talked about people being let go from the military for vaccines, for the vaccine mandate, and just bringing that up. Apparently, I didn't say what they wanted to be said. I said, this is wrong. We shouldn't. This is experimental. We don't know the full side effects. Now we're getting a better idea of what they are, and it's not good.
Right.
And so I've had a lot of things taken down. I even told my staff, let's just get off of YouTube altogether. I don't want to deal with that company.
Yeah.
They're un-American, and I won't sit here and have my rights taken away and deal with these people.
Right. And I
don't even want to deal with them.
Well, I think that's important to note because you still have some of these sort of, and I'm more of a libertarian conservative is how I would be defined, but you have a lot of these sort of big L libertarians saying it's a private company. They can do whatever they want. You and I both know that that's not true. We've certainly crossed that line. I wanted to go back to something you said, like Governor DeSantis did in Florida. Do you have specific steps in place that you would take as governor of Arizona? Would it be as it relates to Section 230 or the silencing of political candidates, making them legally liable? What do you think you could do in Arizona if you're governor?
Well, I had a nice conversation with Ron DeSantis, Governor DeSantis, when he was in town Sunday for a rally he did with us. And I told him I want to copy a lot of the things he's done. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. He's done put forth a lot of great policy that's helping the people of Florida, keeping their freedoms intact. And so I would look closely at his, I think it was legislation. Yeah. You caught me off. I'm not prepared right now.
No, that's okay. I'm
going to go with it. From what I recall, because it was a while ago that I read this, there were some serious fees involved. If you censor somebody, the company, YouTube, whatever it may be, Twitter, this isn't just a $200 fine. This is it's a fine of thousands of dollars. You're not going to allow censoring. And I'm not talking about somebody who's inciting violence. We're talking about basic stuff. You're putting something politically out there that the, tech tyrants don't agree with, and so they feel they can censor you. It's wrong. It'd be like being on the phone. Everyone uses that old, the way we used to when we grew up. You're on the phone with somebody, you're having a conversation. The person at the phone company doesn't like it. They just disconnect you.
Right. Yeah, well, that's what I believe happens all the time. Whenever I'm having political conversations on the phone, I think I hear the NSA making sounds like the aliens from Signs. But in Florida, I think they're allowed, what it is a suggestion at least, I don't know how it's gone into effect yet, is that they can be legally liable, particularly if they ban someone who's running for political office. But they went one step further in if they ban someone for a political point of view. I agree with you. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Look, like you just said, we all agree. Let's be clear about this. Even though we're on Rumble, we don't need to be, again, there's no concern about being banned. We already have laws that you can't call people to violence. We already have laws that you can't post private information to try and cause harm. The standard that these big tech platforms who benefit as public platforms and utilities that should be applied is the law. You apply the law, and there's no other form of censorship. I can't think of any other way to do it without it being just ripe for corruption.
Apply the law equally to all parties. That's what we want. So we'll find a way, but we're not going to allow the people of Arizona to have the freedom of speech taken from them anymore. We've got to find a way around it, and we'll work with the legislature to make sure that happens. I'm tired of it. And, you're right. They're trying to influence an election.
Yeah.
Can we say that word?
No, you can say it here.
This was great, by the way. Somebody wrote this. I printed it out because it was so perfect. Ballots missing, fake ballots cast, 100% turnout in nursing homes, some where the patients were comatose and they miraculously voted. Vote by mail stuffed on video. Fake plumbing leaking. Suitcases of ballots brought in. Election workers forced to leave trucks bringing ballots across state lines and then they disappear. Thousands of sworn affidavits testifying they saw cheating. Voting machines completely compromised and shown to be hacked. Corrupt Secretary of State and judicial branches making illegal laws. And it went on and on. Don't tell me Joe Biden won 81 million votes. Don't insult my intelligence. I refuse to have it.
Well, he won 81 million votes, but then YouTube had to remove the dislike button. Think about that for a second. Which reminds me, do you have a Rumble account yet?
I do. I'm on Rumble. Go there. I have a lot of great videos where I take on the fake news. Pour yourself a cup of coffee or a can of beer or whatever and watch, because it's pretty fun watching the fake news media come after me.
What is the account or the profile so people can go there?
It's Kari Lake, Karilake.
Okay, great. Well, we'll see you there. And by the way, everyone, the hashtag is Crowder on Rumble right now if we get this interview out there. And I would encourage everyone out there to disseminate this anywhere you can. Get the content up. Look, let your freak flag fly at this point. This is someone who's likely the governor of Arizona, and I think that's why they're scared. Let me ask you this. What do you think conservatives need to be doing if places like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook are going to censor them? My approach is we need to maintain a spot on that territory as long as we can to push back while trying to port as many people off of there so that we're not dependent on them. But there's no conservative platform that's there yet.
I stay with all of these platforms, even though I despise them. I despise Twitter. I call it the cesspool. It's full of bots and fake people, and it's just horrible. But we stay there, and we continue on, and we keep spreading the message of truth. And I think that's important. I think every time that you're on YouTube, you need to, mention Rumble. Get people over to Rumble. It's a site where freedom rings.
Yeah, and they've been around for a while too. That's one. There are a lot of other sort of conservative upstarts that say, "Hey, we're conservative and we want to do X." Rumble was a media website for a long time that said we're going to allow people to speak freely. And let me ask you this though. And I know that this might be a more difficult question for you than even about the election, because sometimes we have to be careful. We don't want to engage in friendly fire. But I will say, I have been sorely disappointed, okay, with a lot of Republicans. We know the midterms are coming up. Let's say Republicans take back the House, Senate, okay. Do you think they'll do anything about censorship in Section 230? Because I've been on a lot of phone calls and in a lot of meetings. Gerald well knows this, and nothing seems to come of it.
I think this go around they will. I love that President Trump is out very actively finding the candidates he feels will be needed to get some things accomplished. And this is why one of the candidates here in Arizona is so important to get elected. It's Blake Masters. He comes from tech. He's one of the good guys in tech. And I think some of the problem is that we don't have people in the House and Senate who truly understand the issue. So it would be great to get somebody in there who is America first and wants to get in there and delve into this and truly understands how do we undo this mess that they have created.
Yeah.
And we need to demand it. We need to be on these people. Once we elect them, I always say, hold me accountable. Yeah. If I'm not living up to the promises that I've put forth, I want you to go after me. You can call me out.
Yeah.
Got to hold these people accountable.
Well, hold on a second. You said call me out. Guys, she did not say call me, just to be clear. I would not check my DMs. Yes, exactly. It's got to be awful being...
No, but the problem before, Stephen, is that we would vote and go, oh, great, I'm politically involved, I voted, and then we go to sleep for 4 years or 2 years or whatever. We vote again. We've got a republic if we can keep it.
Yep.
As Benjamin Franklin said, we've got to be active all the time to keep this beautiful thing called America, which we are losing right now, which take every issue that's important to you. Inflation. I can't believe you can't talk about inflation now. That they don't want us talking about anything that the radical left has screwed up.
Yeah.
But think of all the issues that are important to you. And then above all those issues is the fact that we're losing our country. We are on the verge of losing this republic.
Yep.
That's what it's about.
And it starts with speech.
Communist.
It starts with speech. Every great civil rights movement and every freedom movement have, it's whether it was speech in the coffee shops or it was speech here, in the New World. It all starts with speech. Speech for civil rights. It all starts with speech. You remove that from anyone, whether it's a political class you disagree with or not. That's when you cease to be a representative Republican. You're right. Go to sleep for 4 years. Hell, I went to sleep for 4 minutes in Wayne County, flipped from Donald Trump to Joe Biden. I took a nap. Look, really quickly, this is where we would say piss off YouTube, so I'll let people see, but we're going to do it for free today on Rumble and Mug Club. So really quickly, Tim, let's just so people know what they would usually miss. Okay. All right, good. That's it. So we're doing it really quickly. I'm going to go to some questions here, Kari Lake. It's at Kari Lake, KariLake.com. Gerald, you have one for the future governor of Arizona.
I do, yes. So I know you only have about 3 minutes until you have to get out, so I'll be brief and then turn it back over to you, Stephen. But every time something like this happens, people lose more trust in their institutions and the government that represents them. How, as governor, do you fight against that, at least restoring some trust at the state and local level?
I could use some trust.
Well, I think you first of all, you live up to what you promised on the campaign trail. And when you start as a governor doing the things you promised to do, like securing that border, going after the cartels, treating them as the terrorists that they are, when you start working with the legislature to shore up election laws so that our elections are honest, that's how you regain that trust with the public. I don't blame them. I'm pissed off and mad, too. And that's why I'm in this. I jumped into the swamp. Believe me, I'd rather be doing something else. It would be a lot more fun. But we have to get involved. And so I think it's just making good on those promises and doing right by the people. That's how you restore the trust.
Oh my gosh! You used the word balls. Now you said pissed off. Meghan McCain's going to be tweeting about you from her love seat.
She's so mad at me. Megan, don't worry. We're going to turn Arizona around. It's going to be a great place. You'll maybe by the end of my 8 years, she will even be a fan. Wouldn't that be something if we turned Megan into a fan?
Yes.
I should mention, by the way, I have an app that I got a while back. It's just at the Google and the App Store. It's Kari Lake.
Okay.
Because I foresee the day when they do cancel me off of all of that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my backup if you want to go download that on your phone. Like you need one more app on your phone.
Right. Yeah, you need one more app on your phone. No, but that's a good thing if people can go and download it. I believe that Dave, do you have time for one question from Dave? Or
yeah,
okay.
I do,
all right,
course.
Dave, one question from Dave. Let's make sure that we keep it. So she's a busy lady. She's going to be governor of Arizona.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
Well, if Hillary doesn't kill her. Yeah. But it's that. But it's serious. Like, what is your biggest concern right now with within your own party? Not people against you or anything, but obviously there's bad, people inside. Is there anything that you'd like to correct within your own party that you see as a problem?
I mean, where do I begin on that? Well, I'm really, I truly do want to bring this party together.
Yeah.
I'm of the, America First movement, right?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who are traditional Republicans, and we agree on 90%, 95% of everything. I want to bring them in. I don't want them to feel that, hey, look, we have an America First candidate who won. Nobody else is welcome. No, we are the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And a lot of great ideas are in the Republican Party. We're watching young people come into the Republican Party. So I want to bring everyone together. I guess there will probably be people who just don't they're the never Trump types who don't like people like me. Maybe they'll kind of even warm to me. I don't see the real problems being in the Republican Party. There's a few things we can tweak here and there because, it's like a family, a little bit of dysfunction.
Yeah.
The real problems to me are with the radical left and what they've hijacked the Democrat Party. They're turning it into socialism and communism, and they are trying to take down America. That is the real problem. I'm going to keep my eye on that. I can deal with little differences I might have with people who are Republican, but what I cannot tolerate is the removal of our freedoms and our liberties. And I cannot tolerate the effort to turn this country into a socialist state or worse.
Well, let's add one other caveat to that. We also can't tolerate Liz Cheney. It's a big tent, but we're not going to let Liz Cheney in by the hair of our chinny chin
Well,
chin.
and that's what I meant by the never Trumpers.
Right.
I mean, there's no changing someone like that.
Yeah.
The people who turned on Trump and said they were going to support Biden because they didn't like Trump's tweets, I don't know. I don't know if there's hope for that, but maybe they'll have an enlightenment, or they'll have a epiphany, and they'll wake up, and then they'll come over.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're seeking enlightenment from Buddha so much as just the change dish. Okay, all right. Kari Lake, KariLake.com. I know you're busy. You must go. Thank you so much. You can come back and get me banned anytime.
Okay, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in Phoenix.
That's right, September 16th. Everyone get your tickets now. All right, we'll see you. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, Toe Man, you can get rid of the color bars there. Sorry, I know we're kind of freewheeling this a little bit.
Kind of meant though, was like by the Never Trumpers if she was getting any pushback.
Yeah.
So I was curious.
Well, it's the Republican Party. I think you're just trying to say it's a big tent. And she's in Arizona, so Meghan McCain's there. It has to be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm curious. She's got her eye on the prize though. I like that.
Yeah,
sincerely.
I do too. The only thing I would say about the answer that she gave to my question is I agree. But sometimes fulfilling the promises that you made in the campaign sometimes depends a lot on other people.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't always get everything done that you try to do, even if you give it your best effort and do everything you can. What you can do is be open and honest with people.
Well, you know what I liked too about her? When I asked her about the Florida law. She's like, well, hold on a second. Let me make sure if I'm going by memory here that I have it correct.
Yeah.
I'm not fully prepared here for this.
She didn't BS you.
No, because you know what the truth is? You can't remember laws in every state.
Right.
I constantly mix up. Everyone knows this about me. If you watch the show, everyone, but I mean you who watch, I sound like Donald Trump. Everybody knows this because everyone knows me. No, I'm saying, you know that I have an issue with names. Names bleed together for me. I'm like McCabe, Comey, Ray, they all kind of. So I don't act like I know. That's what I have here. We don't really use an actual teleprompter. I just have notes and names and numbers, so I make sure that I don't get them wrong, and then we provide those references for you. She said, oh, I'm going by what I remember here, and she was mostly right. I think it was actually expanded where you can sue them beyond just the fine.
$100,000 fine per day. If I remember correctly, it was.
Oh, gigantic. That's right. I think Texas was. So she was right, and I was wrong. Texas, you can sue them.
Yeah, Texas was having the liability. I think Texas's law didn't get passed. or some version of it maybe got passed, but it wasn't the one that we talked about initially. And then Florida's, I don't remember if that ever got enacted or not either, but I know there were some challenges legally to that. So.
Okay, we have a few more stories to get to. And by the way, right now you're in Mug Club only zone, but it's free.
Yeah.
So
this is what you normally miss.
This is what you normally miss. And of course, you can use the hashtag Crowder on Rumble. Irritate the left with that. The left with that bullshit. And it's $30 off Mug Club if you use the promo code Free Speech for an annual membership. That's what keeps the lights on. That's what allows us to be uncancelable from YouTube. We appreciate if you join up and support or don't. Here's something I wanted to get to. Have you seen this? So we've talked about the FBI. Mm-hmm. Talked about the DOJ.
Yeah.
Bad stuff. But the IRS is worse. And they're not just worse because, they suck also. But it's the IRS. What you don't think of with the IRS is people with guns. Well, that's wrong. They do have guns. But they're really bad at using their guns. So now we have video of the IRS hard at work recruiting their army and training these unbelievable deadly agents. But this is the guy first setting it up, an IRS representative, and then we have the training footage.
We are the only agency that can work investigations regarding
Yakuza. Casey, he has your exact
and
name.
Other tax-related offenses. If you have an accounting degree mirrored or paired with criminal justice, that makes you very marketable in this line of work. We've seen many Ponzi schemes where the individual at the top of the scheme will be driving around a very nice sports car or a luxury vehicle, and he purchased that car with the proceeds of the
money
fraud.
he took from your pockets
and
before putting you in a locker.
And we can prove that asset
and we want
was
to take
purchased
that money
with
by
criminal
a really nice
proceeds.
car.
We're allowed by law to seize those assets.
Watch tomorrow. He's just riding Maybachs like skis. Like him and that pastor.
You can buy it at Sam's.
It's a segue.
Thanks to Dave's auditing, he has a Movado watch. Is that the brand?
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. Shooting really low.
I don't know anything about Movado watches. Okay, so that's him letting you know.
Yeah, that is shooting low, but I bet you that's what he would buy.
Yeah.
I have not seen this, but apparently this is the training of the IRS, their new agents, and it's rigorous. Fat guy in a little coat.
Put that cookie down!
What are you looking for? Do you have any weapons on that side? What are you looking for? Look for us. No, sir.
His thumb is up behind the slide. That would be blown off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chubby redhead just aimed her gun at him. Nice.
Good job.
No one knows what they're doing.
They're going to accidentally.
All right, guys. He's got elbow patches. Take him down.
He's going to try and do a Stranger Things number 11.
He's got a members only jacket.
This is real?
I have a gun.
Look at that guy. Look at that guy. The way he's holding the gun. It's completely. Oh, they just remembered. I have to control this.
But that's because they're accountants.
No, I saw the accountant.
What is this? With the IRS. You're under arrest. You're going to jail, buddy.
Is this real?
Allegedly.
Is this real?
Did we?
Tokenawan, is that 100% real?
It's confirmed it's real. 100%.
It's confirmed. That is actual training for the IRS. So they just decided, okay, we're going to add in 80,000 new agents, give them guns, and train them out behind the middle school gym?
Basically.
Do you see that guy? He's holding his head like he had a move. Like he's going to be like, all right, look, I don't want any trouble. What are you doing? Hold on, this is going to be... Then he just shits his pants.
He just runs for the door, completely gets away.
Just the Wilhelm scream.
The one guy who would blow his thumbs off, it's like, yeah, shoot.
Yeah.
Go for it.
The next time they say we need responsible firearm training in this country, just say you first.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You see him? He was holding his thumbs up, which you never do behind the slide.
No, I understand. It's silly. I hope that was not the end of their training.
Well, let me
that
get
was the very beginning.
This straight, though. Part of the woke thing is you don't want to use deadly force, right?
Right.
So you have 9 armed people on a dude with elbow patches?
Right.
Because
not to mention
tax fraud.
Not to mention that fat bastard with the vest, the zipper together.
Yeah.
If that guy sneezes, it'll become a claymore.
Yeah, they're like, sorry, Dan, they stop at 2X.
They're going to accidentally kill so many people.
Aim for his fupa.
Or they'll miss. They'll be like stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Just graze them. He'd have no idea. It's like, oh, shit, I'm bleeding.
Oh, wow, that's weird.
No nerve endings. It's just necrosis.
Oh, this is kind of nice. I got a free tummy tuck.
Awesome.
Save me some money on cool sculpting.
I got sneezing, Gabby.
What an idiot.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's real footage.
Woo, I guess.
Well, I guess it means if the IRS ever pulls a gun on you, just slowly walk away.
Ridiculous. If Tons of Fun comes to the door first.
The way that guy was holding that gun, you could just go, no. Someone just walks up behind him, hits him with a blackjack. I guess I won't be paying taxes this year.
Yeah, if he's coming towards you, just put a pie on the windowsill.
Starts floating like Yogi Bear.
How do they keep getting away? I don't know. He's just covered in blueberries.
Yeah. Weird. Oh my gosh.
Yogi and Boo Boo has anal fissures and monkeypox.
That's true.
My anal fissures are swollen, Yogi. Oh, Boo Boo, you get monkeypox from lesions.
Yeah, it's the picnic basket from when you fell asleep.
Yep. Let's put you in the picnic basket sex swing.
It's getting really lonely out here, Boo Boo.
Park ranger's just like, faggots! No.
It's like Randy Quaid on the horse from Brokeback.
By the way, that was an exact impression of the park ranger, in case you don't remember.
Yeah.
I apologize for nothing. Okay, we're going to take some chat here in a little bit. Is there anything that I should be mentioning, Gerald? I know I'm really bad at selling stuff. Like, I'm like, join Mug Club or don't, buy a shirt or don't. We would really love to see you go out, of course, to Arizona, September 16th.
We really would. Seriously, come out.
Maybe Kari Lake will introduce you and, talk about your, you would qualify for BDE. Big Dave energy.
I actually would.
Big Dave.
I may not have everything like height.
Right.
But I got length, baby.
You got energy.
Great ass.
No, I think it's fine to say that we've got great merch for you guys to buy, right? So the stuff like Fight Like Hell.
It's all right.
Dave and I love the stuff. It's pretty good stuff. It's nice.
Well, I mean, we're not losing.
No. I will tell you. The truth is, we actually do. Like, if anyone out there, we'll take your chats. If you have any merch, we don't just go with just the cheap stuff that's just like Hanes. Like we always. I think this is. I don't know. There are a couple of companies where we try and get it fitted. It's softer. It's better.
Nice.
We try and do whatever the printing is
it's
called.
It's just a way to support that you're not just donating money to something. Like you said, we don't do Patreon or anything like that.
Oh, because then it can be taken away.
Nice. Yeah,
that's also the issue.
They can't take this away. They can ban certain shirts, by the way, which are available at the venues, which is awesome.
That's true. Yes. Shirts. Well, we can say it here on Rumble.
That's right.
The Socialism is for Figs shirt is available exclusively at live shows because YouTube said even if we sell them on our online website, even though there's a fig leaf in the shirt, that they would not allow us on YouTube. So we don't sell that anywhere online.
Go there first because we sell out of that shirt at every single show so far.
Yeah. Also, the children's book that I bought there is coming out here this fall, so that'll be available there too. Cool. But you'll be able to get it anywhere if you have a Barnes & Noble that's not just a bunch of hobos screwing in the magazine section. Hey, speaking of things that can be removed.
Does that happen still?
I assume so. We can also be removed from TikTok. Let's do our best.
Let's do it.
So we were banned from TikTok for a while, created a new account.
Yeah.
Then we tried to get banned.
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't ban us.
No.
We should be using reverse psychology all this time. So let's give it our best here. We've looked up TikTok's policies.
Okay.
And we'll see if we're still there today. I don't really want to be on, of all the platforms, I don't want to be on TikTok.
Yeah, but if we're going to go out, we're going to go out with a bang.
Yeah.
We've been trying for a while.
Go out with a bang, like the teachers bang kids in public schools.
Like Eric Swalwell.
Yes.
Like a guy might bang his finger off if he points a gun at you.
Yes, exactly.
I got no thumbs.
They took my thumbs, Charlie.
No, Johnny,
you
did
took your
that.
thumbs.
You took your thumbs.
Darling. I don't know how many times we've referenced the Pope of Greenwich Village. And
no one knows that movie.
Thumbs?
You don't deserve.
Eric Roberts with Mickey Rourke. Some of the worst.
Guys, stop calling me Fonzie.
Yeah.
You don't deserve thumbs.
I'm handicapped.
All right,
now.
TikTok. Here, let's just rapid fire some of these. There's an effort in schools to sexualize young children and groom them into LGBTQ cult members. Drag Queen Story Hour for kids is about as healthy for them to join as landscaping for John Wayne Gacy. Let's see what else we got. By the way, anyone looking for a job with the IRS? If you weren't a nerd who got beaten up in high school, well, you know what? Maybe it's time to go back to school.
I agree.
What else do we have here as far as TikTok? What are their policies? What is it? Oh, Xi Jinping, right? That's right. Xi Jinping, which of course in Chinese means small dick, useless prick. The difference between Xi Jinping and every man in Taiwan is when Taiwanese men measure their penises, they use the inch side of the ruler. He goes by the metric system and doesn't use it.
Right. The independent country of Taiwan that actually does exist.
Yeah.
Where all the men's penises are bigger than Xi Jinping.
It's weird.
Not bigger than everyone in China.
No.
Just Xi Jinping.
Just Xi Jinping.
Very, very small penis, and you are bad at your job, and your government sucks, and I hope you get your ass kicked by Taiwan.
And you look exactly like Winnie the Pooh.
You do.
It's crazy.
Uncanny.
If Winnie the Pooh was retarded.
Yeah, you look like Downsy the Pooh.
Yes. You look like Downsy if he pooed on himself.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we've heard the rumors. Xi Jinping, we should also clarify, shits himself with great regularity and zeal.
And often gets his head stuck in honeypots.
Yes, he does. Yes. Yeah. And by honeypots, we mean he thinks that they're attractive young choir boys online, and then he finds out that they're not.
Oh, it's not.
They look like him.
His fingers.
Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization that's lazy and, I don't know.
Didn't want that one?
I just realized Dave wrote one for me. These are things that Dave wrote a couple. I wrote something and Dave was like, hey, Dave, can you, I don't have time. I have to get ready for Kari Lake. Can you write this?
I've noticed you've skipped a couple punch-ups.
Land wasn't stolen from Native Americans, and if they could learn any skill set or trade in the modern world, it would be to stop bitching. Radical Islam is a violent religion, and towels don't make good hats. Oh, here's one. Monkeypox is exclusively a gay disease / virus. It's like AIDS, except without the cool factor.
There's nobody cool with
there's nobody cool.
No.
I'm trying to think. Is there anybody? No.
Freddie Mercury, AIDS, cool.
Yep, that was cool.
Oh.
Charlie Sheen, he used to be cool.
Yeah, he used to be cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's AIDS people that are pretty cool.
Yeah, monkeypox is just, I mean, because AIDS, you can kind of get away with, you sort of have that starving artist look. Yeah. Monkeypox, when your nose is just rotted off.
It's not cool.
I don't know.
If he would have, you think if Freddie Mercury walked out with monkeypox, was it where did he play? At Wembley?
I don't know where he played. I don't know, but
I think
hopefully
people would have just left.
Yeah.
Been like, oh, it's unsightly.
Hopefully at least cleaned the seat.
Yeah, he started singing, his tongue fell out.
There's no such thing as, there are two genders, there are two sexes. Transgender, non-binary, the 52 or however many TikTok want to act like they're a real thing. It's not a real thing. Just like obesity isn't actually a disability, okay? You're just a pig trying to get the handicapped parking space at Golden Corral and then beating someone over the head for a Salisbury steak. That's your problem. A lot of mistakes. Being disabled is out of your control. You choose to be in that hover round.
I'm not your Golden Corral money.
And you choose to not be patient for more terrible steak.
Yeah.
It's true. You do get in fights over bad food.
Yes.
You're like, what's the difference? I think I'd rather hurt a guy and then wait 10 minutes.
Yes.
Hey, you got more steak?
Well, time to riot.
Sir, you've been arrested.
They would not be patient enough to wait. They're not like, it's not like tracking a moose. They wait like 2 minutes. Like, I need it now. My blood sugar's dropped to 104. I don't know the blood sugar measurements. The point is it's high.
He died doing what he loved, getting drowned in a chocolate fountain.
Yes.
During a riot.
And grossly abusing the sneeze guard. It was one of his life's great pleasures.
Yeah.
I need snake now.
Illegal immigrants, I should say, are, by definition, criminals and should be treated as such. Except the rapists, because in Hollywood they call that one of us, meaning one of them. Or a lot of, public school teachers. Or members of the CIA.
FBI too, yes.
Also, by the way, just because we're trying to break all the rules, let's also hit some trademark infringement. Oh, come on, you ruined it.
I was enjoying that, actually.
Yeah, I was too.
I like it. I'm not going to lie.
One cool guy with monkeypox.
Yeah, oh, yeah, true. I guess we got to retract that.
Yeah, we got to retract it. Admonish. One cool guy with monkeypox.
One.
Yeah, one.
Never gonna give, never gonna...
What are you doing, Toolman? Hit the admonish button for crap. Why is he waiting? I said it.
There you go.
Like, you think he's going to get in trouble for admonishing? I'm the one who said admonish.
He had to move solitaire out of the way.
Yeah.
The admonish button was right behind
I'm
it.
just playing solitaire right now.
Hey, TikTok 2020 election not only wasn't the most secure election in history, trying to think of how to phrase it. It was bullshit. You don't really do those. Right, small penis, small prick. I'm honoring your language. Also, you murdered protesters in Hong Kong.
I think that's a...
We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
If that doesn't do it, I really don't know what will.
I don't know.
That one was fun.
That one was fun. Yeah. I mean, I think we're done with the TikTok thing.
If they keep it up, it's really that's
on them.
Spite.
Hey, you're going to be in Fort Wayne, Indiana this weekend?
Oh, not this weekend. Next weekend.
Son of a bitch.
I'll be there at Summit Comedy Club and then Port Charlotte, Florida.
All right,
and then with you in Houston
Phoenix is the big one now because that's where Kari Lake is.
It's the battleground.
I really encourage people to come out. That is definitely a stand.
And you all know I likes me some Kari Lake.
Stop it.
No, I mean as a candidate.
He's going to be the governor. I wonder how
Why
that's
put in
looking
a
right
Kari pool when you can swim in a Kari Lake?
What I'm saying? Yeah.
No, I don't.
Take a dip. Shut up, homo.
What you're saying.
Out loud. Come on, you're going to tell me that you wouldn't set up a tire swing from an old oak tree?
No.
Come on.
Swing into that lake?
No.
You're more of a creek guy?
Crick.
Are you really this moral, or does your wife hit you?
I'm not Will Smith. I'll just put it that way, okay?
That's not a good answer. Now I'm worried about you.
It was quick, but not good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect.
You're like,
I'm not Will Smith.
I'm not fully mentally abused.
Yes.
Not at all.
Kidding.
No, his wife is incredible.
I know. I love Gerald's wife.
Stephen goes,
I would make
early
the joke
on, Stephen goes, if you screw this up, you're an idiot.
Yeah. I was like, you're a moron. And he was like, he was late into his years. I was like, I didn't think it was going to happen for him.
No, I think it's because he finally got that tooth put in.
It's true. That
Yeah, he
helped.
did.
Yeah, not
Having all
even
of your
being
teeth.
mean.
No, seriously. For people who don't know, when I first met Gerald, he was missing a tooth.
On the side.
And I didn't know how to approach it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to hurt his feelings.
the
I was
other
like, do you
side.
think he knows he looks like that?
Yeah, we've always talked about that.
Yeah.
Every dollar should go into the tooth fund.
Yep.
And then you buy something
He didn't
else.
even know me when I didn't have that, Dave.
No, but I just can imagine that if you talked to me without a tooth, I'd be like, I can't take you seriously.
He got shot out with a BB
You don't even
gun.
know what brushing well
That's his story. What did Tooth Fairy leave under your pillow? Sugar packets?
My cousin Joe did it. You know him. He's the one that shot me.
I don't know your cousin
In the
Joe.
shut up.
Jojo?
Joe.
Why don't you cry
Guy
about
out there?
Yes, that guy.
He's the one who shot you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the only
And then he went
person
into
that
the-
left adult teeth under his pillow.
To be fair, I shot him first.
From the corpse because he wanted to erase the dental records.
Oh, yeah, you got shot with the BB gun.
Yeah, he did. He got shot with a BB gun in the
I
tooth.
remember. Oh, man.
That's not the only tooth I've lost. I lost a front tooth because a guy headbutted me when I had my helmet up after scoring a touchdown and like chiclets in my hand at halftime. I'm like,
Was that college?
no, that was high school.
Ooh.
That was before they gave him the steroids that he didn't know about.
That's true.
My teeth
Yeah.
got bigger. It was
That's
weird.
That's why your teeth fell out because of the vitamins you were taking.
The vacuumed, fresh, sealed vitamins in individual packets that you could only get at certain hours from the assistant coach. And
Well,
Joe's
they
like,
said-
I don't know.
You have to take them on site as well. They wouldn't let
That's how you squatted 570 pounds accidentally.
Yeah.
No, that's
For crying out loud.
I
Why you
squatted more than
carried
that,
your
but-
car to school on your back. And yet you had soft baby teeth.
It's weird. You get angry in math class.
All right, let's take. This is something we do on Thursdays where we take do the stinger for it, where it's,
one thing really fast. Lane sent me this during the show when we talked about the Hunter Biden laptop.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to interrupt because we had Kari Lake in the wing.
Yeah.
But this is Sam Harris gave some thoughts and it's kind of blown up a little bit.
Is this recently?
Yeah.
About what? What is
the Hunter Biden laptop.
This is a little late.
Well, no, we had Kari Lake to get to, so.
No, I'm saying it's a little late that Sam Harris, did he just find out about Hunter Biden laptop?
I don't know. Maybe this is
all right. Okay. Well, look. I mean, it still could be. It still could be a value. I'm just wondering why it just came up.
I think that could be in Hunter Biden's laptop, in my view. Right now, that doesn't answer the people who say it's still completely unfair to not have looked at the laptop in a timely way and to have shut down the New York Post's Twitter account like that. That's just a conspiracy. That's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency to Donald Trump. Absolutely, it was. Absolutely, right. But I think it was warranted, right. And again, it's a coin toss as to whether or not.
That's right. I remember this.
That particular piece.
I'm really sorry. I was the one that said we should move on, but you've just said something I really struggle with there, which is you support
the kids in the basement. A guy like that struggles. Color meets
fuck
fries.
the kids in the basement. I'm interested in democracy. You're saying you are content with a left-wing conspiracy to prevent somebody being democratically re-elected as president.
Well, no, I'm content. Well, but the thing is, it's just not left-wing, right? So Liz Cheney is not left-wing, right?
Is he saying that he's okay with them having censored it?
Yes.
This is the problem with, look, let me tell you, a lot of these pseudo-intellectuals online, and you get a lot of these podcasts, like, this is an intellectual and you know that we're intellectual because we speak in a very boring way. There's nothing particularly difficult. And I will say there's no value to taking something that should be simple, easy to decipher, anyone could understand it, and making it complicated. There is value in taking complicated subjects and distilling them so that people can grasp them. Now, that's the first level. There are rungs on a ladder, and then people can go deeper. The problem with people like Sam Harris is they're so impressed with the sound of their own voice that they can't answer a question in a way that you can decipher the first go around, and they want you to think it's because you're not as smart as them. No. Let me distill this for you. If I'm understanding it correctly, he thinks it's okay that Twitter did that? Okay. Yes. Sam Harris, you don't actually support freedom of speech. I never want to hear you again talk about the radical left. I never want to hear you again talk about freedom of speech. I never want to hear you again act as though you're a libertarian or you support the Bill of Rights, Constitution. No, you don't. You just acknowledged that it was wrong. You just acknowledged that it was dishonest. Why? I'm sure he'll give some pseudo-intellectual answer about the nature of truth. I just heard it from you. That's a stupid thing to say. And I don't mean stupid in the way the street kids mean it. I mean stupid.
Well, if I can just say something, if you guys don't mind. I have some thoughts on this. What people need to realize about this laptop is it's not that it was Hunter Biden's laptop based on smoking crack, prostitutes, and that kind of thing. I understand what you might think is immoral. It's the fact of the actual crimes going on involving money exchanges, his positions, and the dealings with China that would have come out to expose the president as a criminal.
Yep.
That's the issue with the laptops, not just him smoking crack and putting M&Ms on his penis.
Yeah.
Then
that part's funnier.
9-inch.
It is.
Penis.
That's the storefront. People see that. They go, M&Ms on the penis? Yeah. What's in there? And then you come in, you're like, oh, corruption and money exchanging hands with Ukraine, right?
Right. That's I mean, you do. Right. Yeah, that's why you walk in.
Right. The attention grabber is the M&Ms on the to hear Hunter say it 9 inches, twice as big as any other man's penis.
Right.
It's the mannequin in the window.
Yeah. You're like, this isn't as interesting.
Yeah. By the way, if you're looking for a good deal on a gun, just go check the dumpster out back.
Yeah. But I think so many people are focusing on what does it have to do with the president. It's like everything.
Everything.
Yeah. And that's the reality.
Well, look, Andrew Breitbart, to give you an idea, a lot of people don't know this. I've told this story before, but Anthony Weiner, Andrew Breitbart was the one who got those pictures. And the media had already tarred and feathered him before they had even attempted to verify the authenticity of these pictures, saying Andrew Breitbart's a charlatan. This is clearly something that's fabricated. Only when Andrew Breitbart took over Anthony Weiner's press conference, where he was going to go out there, his plan was to go out there and say there are fake stories that are trying to destroy me politically, until Andrew said, I have the pictures here on my phone that I don't want to release for the sake of his family, which made their way out eventually. Then Anthony Weiner had to apologize. And what Andrew Breitbart said is, it's about the liability. It's about the liability of an official United States representative sending these kinds of pictures out to multiple people.
Yeah.
It's not a crime to sex somebody who's not your wife, right? You probably won't do too well in a divorce court if your wife wasn't a lesbian with Hillary Clinton, but it's not a crime.
But it's relevant to the election.
It's relevant. And in this case, it's more relevant because the big guy, the father, the former vice president of the United States, Joe Biden, is directly implicated. And by the way, where do you say, okay, this is relevant, this is a liability? Is it only when it applies to golf courses co-owned by the Trumps kids. What about Eric Swalwell banging a Chinese spy?
I still dispute the banging. I mean, I think she just tortured him.
Yeah, probably. It was probably like Paul Giamatti in Billions.
Something like that, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because JFK used to bang a lot of spies, and that ended well.
Yeah, well, this is how it works with our intelligence community. Don't question them.
No, but I just think that's important to put out, because I think I end up having conversations with a lot of people where it's like, but he's not the one running for president. It's like, yeah, but that's not. I don't think you get what's on the laptop. You're not focusing on what's really there.
Right.
The whole point. So this country was founded on the idea that free speech would be the great equalizer. Right, for everybody, every single political view that is out there has the opportunity, or whatever,
and guns,
and guns, right? So guns back up the first one,
yep,
right. That was the foundation.
I'm not being facetious.
No, that's exactly what.
That is why it's 1 and 2.
Yeah,
amendments 1 and 2. Speak freely. Government's not in the church running business.
Right.
You can all have guns. Oh, hold on a second, Madison. Can we have cannons? Hell yeah, you can have cannons.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Pimp your boat.
Yes.
Right? No, absolutely. So that's what it was founded on. And what our government has done now is started to take that away. And it never, ever, ever will work. So even if their goal is good, even if they have these altruistic ideas about how the country should be run, all that's going to make people do is think that you're hiding something every single time. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that we don't have to think that. We know that now. We have so many cases where this stuff happens. Then they come back at a hearing and say, that was a mistake. We shouldn't have actually banned that account. Okay, will you put the tweet back up? Well, no, we can't do that.
Right, yeah, exactly.
There was too much momentum behind that tweet. There's millions of people that had viewed that at that point. We can't put that back up. And it's too late now anyway. Yeah. It was a time-sensitive issue. And by the way, when people see violations of their policies that are crystal clear, hacked tax returns, stolen from Donald Trump, put out on Twitter, and nobody said anything to the New York Times about that, they didn't get their account banned or that tweet pulled down. Yeah. That was weeks before the Hunter Biden laptop story.
No, I agree.
Just weeks. Well, and I could talk about this for the rest of my life and not make too big of a deal of it. That is a chilling moment in history for us.
Yeah. Well, I will say, were you about to say something?
Well, this guy just did an entire interview saying that he withheld information from the public based on his own one solo opinion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Look, I would invite Sam Harris to come on the show here, of course, and as we all know, it would be respectful. Well, no, look, he's not Hunter.
I'm sorry.
He does look a little bit like Hunter there, doesn't he? They look like him, Hunter, and Jack Dorsey look like they can all be brothers. Here's the thing. And I know Sam Harris will say, that's beneath me. Intellectually speaking. Maybe. I'm sure you're probably a lot smarter than me, Sam. I wouldn't be able to hang with you, right? We both know that. Should be an easy layup for you. But the issue here is this was the guy who was on the panel. I think we just ran this. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago with Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
He was the one who pissed off Ben Affleck, right? And he understood then that he should be allowed to express the danger of bad ideas. Hold on a second. What if that conversation, Sam, had taken place on Twitter rather than a panel that's edited by producers on HBO? And they just decided your information can't get out. Your information, your point of view, which, by the way, I agree with. I know you've done some stellar work on Islam and exposing the bad ideas therein. But what if you weren't able to? And what if you were running for president or governor and you weren't able to? And what if Ben Affleck was amplified and there was nothing that you could do about it? This is something else, too. You get with a lot of these intellectuals. And I don't say that, by the way, in any kind of way to denigrate anybody. That's sort of how he's labeled, right? These are intellectual podcasts. I believe he still has a podcast. I'll listen to them. I will. I listen to them to go to sleep. And I mean that because I want to learn as I fall asleep. I know you can't learn while you're asleep, but, it's that monotonous, sort of like listening to NPR, where it's, they bring on some, I don't know, like lesbian Afrocentric, jazz band.
And then a guy falls asleep at the wheel and dies.
Yes, exactly.
I always pictured you for the whispering.
Yes, the whispering NPR. But this is a guy who's obviously, he's an atheist. He's well known as an atheist. And he expresses his discontent or sort of bewilderment with Christians who believe what he says cannot be, proven. And that's true. And I say this as a Bible-believing Christian. That's what defines me. And Gerald is, and Dave believes in God. I'll speak for myself. As a Bible-believing Christian, okay, I understand at a certain point, yeah, something is taken on faith. We all have to acknowledge that at a certain point, the start of the universe has to be taken on faith as well. We don't know. We have theories. I'm not talking about evolution. I'm not talking about Adam. I'm not talking about Adam Eve, any of that. I'm saying, how did the universe begin? All of us at some point are taking it on faith. You may argue that Mine is sillier than yours. Got it. I'm a dummy. But in this case, we have Sam Harris. Again, let's keep in mind, Christians, they believe something that can't be proven, even though no one can prove exactly how the earth began, exactly how the universe began, has information in front of him that he knows is false, that he knows can be proven to be false, and by the way, on the flip side, be proven to be true. Hunter Biden, laptop, the money exchanging hands, right? The commission for the big guy, the liability. And he says, I don't care anyway. So what I just want to make sure we all understand is you can be very smart, and I'm saying this with 100% genuine. Sam Harris is very smart. He's a very intelligent man, okay? Very intelligent people can face facts and reality and choose to deny them or dismiss them anyway. That's why you need a Kirk, and you can't only have Spocks. Could you imagine a man like that at the helm as a president or in any kind of position of leadership? Everyone who works beneath him would want to swallow a sword. And they're not sword swallowers.
No, not at all.
Suicide was the implication.
Ah.
Yeah.
Got it.
He can comment below. He knows. In other words, there's no take it on faith, silly, dumb Christians. Get it. Entire nation of people, all the founders who created the laws that are unique to this country, freedom of speech, which does not exist anywhere else, founded on Judeo-Christian principle, they were all dummies. You figured out something that they missed, right? The edgy atheism. I understand it. But right now you're saying that you're facing reality, and you don't care anyway. So let's not have some existential conversation about the nature of truth if you don't care. Okay. Let's take some chats. It is Chat Thursday.
Chat.
Oh, that's a short.
That's a really quick chat.
Yeah, I know we're running a little bit late today, but this is what happens when you get suspended from the biggest platform on earth. On the Mug Club, we usually take chats every Thursday. Let's take some chats. Token Owen.
All right. Ramit asks, considering legacy media was easier to control,
flag him to Homeland Security. Go ahead.
Do you think the attack on free speech is escalating or just becoming more visible?
That's a good question. I don't know that it's escalating, and I don't necessarily know that it's that they don't care. It's that they don't care that it's visible. Now, because they don't fear any kind of accountability. And we were talking about this with Hunter Biden. Yeah. It's not that he's a piece of shit, that too.
Right.
It's that he never feared any kind of accountability or retribution. A man who goes that far down the trail of measuring his penis with M&Ms and sexting his niece and videotaping, and I know I sound old, digitally filming himself smoking crack.
The digital trail is what's scary about it.
Yeah.
And that's what proves that he was never worried about any sort of consequence.
And he kept it.
Yes.
At no point, for crying out loud.
You needed it fixed and just dropped it off.
When I need to drop my phone off to get it fixed, I have a little note in my app with recipes, and I delete them because I'm embarrassed that they might think they're bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's not actually my chicken parm. I don't use canned tomatoes.
Never. Never. Everything's fresh.
Here's my dick crack. There you go.
No. Yeah. Here's me slapping a Russian whore. Can you tell me why this has a virus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's me sticking a protractor in my ass singing clang, clang, clang went the trolley. It's an HD. He just fixed, I don't know where the virus came from.
To be honest, nothing's wrong with my computer. I just wanted you to see it.
Yes.
Check that file.
And I'm just going to sit here. I just want to see the smile on your faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
No, I don't think it's just because Democrats have their back, right? I don't think it's just because they're protected by Democrats, even though that's probably the largest reason. It's because when Republicans controlled the House and the Senate, they didn't do anything.
No, you're absolutely right.
So neither side apparently has, I'll say it, the balls to actually go out and take this problem on and get it done.
And this is what happens. You see, when you have to deal with this Leviathan. You know what happens when companies like this, when they know that Democrats have their back? Monkeypox.
Yep. Well, I think
allegedly.
I think it is getting worse because there was a logic behind it before, at least in the last little while, where, okay, let's say you have a television show or whatever it might be. There's a certain thing you can't allow on there because of kids or the hour that it's on, something like that. You know, like for whatever reason, you have to restrict that speech on that platform.
I understand that.
Sure,
I understand.
And I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
but now when you're having a clean conversation about how you feel about politics, which is simply an opinion, it is not a conspiracy, and there's actually proof behind it. and it's being taken away to the point that you can't. When you can watch an exact video of people doing the exact same thing right when Trump was elected, I think that's a sign of things getting worse.
Yeah, I think you're right. Hey, can we actually have the control room right now check and see, is Dick or Dildo still on YouTube?
I think it's still on YouTube,
Yes.
but they took it off of, like, they age restricted it finally.
They age restricted it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the title wasn't something that the AI was like, oh, that should be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think we can allow that.
And by the way, it's total clickbait. It's not. There's no suspense. It's always Dick. If someone tells you to look away and I'm going to play Dick or Dildo, guess he's not getting anything out of it unless it's Dick.
I had a lot of dongs when I was. I hate all of you.
Hey, Gerald.
I was talking about money.
You're talking about men.
I don't know if we can pull one of those clips, but for those of you who don't know, this is from a previous episode. On YouTube, you can watch gay couple playing Dick or Dildo, where a guy lays down and his friend goes, okay, I'm going to put it in. What do you think it is? Dick or Dildo? And he has to be all cool, like, oh, hey, I don't know. Like, yeah, you do.
Well, yeah, it's like you have experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think.
Yeah, I would hope.
You weren't tipped off by the leftward curve.
Yeah, or the fact that someone's holding your shoulders.
Yes.
It's a monkeypox penis.
Or the hip-to-hip contact. Like, come on.
Ribbed for his not pleasure.
Monkeypox for his
Ribbed
feet.
for your dad's disappointment.
Yes. No, this is still, I don't know, do we have one of those clips? Can they pull it for us? No? Dick or Dildo? If Control Room can pull it for us, because this is an actual game that's still on YouTube. Just to give you context, Kari Lake on here saying, hey, you know what, being someone who is running for governor in Arizona, and of course Maricopa County being an area in question, having run up against the system, I do have some questions. Boom. Banned. Dick or Dildo. Fun for the whole family. It's treated like a YouTube viewable Milton Bradley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love, by the way, so on CNN right now, there's
Candy
the judges,
ass land.
the hearing, the judge is doing the hearing on
Poker Brothers.
unsealing the affidavit behind the search.
Okay.
Which would be huge, but I don't think it's going to happen before we're gone. So
No, you don't think it's going to happen before we're gone?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe we can talk about it off air. If it comes out, we can maybe dive into it and do a briefer or something for tomorrow or whatever.
Well, don't make them. We're going to talk about it off air because we're keeping them out. We let them in on everything. You just mean timing wise.
We just don't know if we're going to. I mean, we're done for the week after today.
That's true.
I mean, we still work, but we don't do a live show.
Yeah, for people who don't know, like all the intros and the sketches and the stuff on location, it doesn't really it doesn't just happen by accident. That's why we have to do it on Friday because we don't have 42 writers like good old Colbert. But I tell you what, that vaccine dancing bit worth every penny.
Brilliant.
I mean, come on,
should be on Broadway.
If you're going to pay teams 42, that's the quality.
That's what you want. Do we have any of the? All right, here is something. I don't know if it's age restricted or not. But it still is available. We're not
still available. They finally did age restricted.
Kids.
But when we first did this segment, it was not.
No, it was not age restricted. Ours, just to be clear, is not age restricted. It's just banned. But you can go to YouTube right now and still watch this.
Can you put it in a little bit more? Hey guys, I am Davey Wavy and I'm here with Igor. Welcome back. So with all the latest advances in dildo technology, we're doing a little video today, an experiment if you will, where we're gonna see if I can tell the difference between dildos from AdamMail.com and real dick.
All right, just stop it. People get the picture. I don't want to watch any more of it. You know where that's going.
That wasn't age restricted
for a very, very long time. And you know what? I don't like, and by the way, I don't mean gay men. I mean gay whore men when we're talking about monkeypox. There are plenty of decent gay men out there who aren't playing Dick or Dildo out in the public eye, and they're embarrassed.
Arguably most of them.
Yeah, exactly. Just to be clear, it's not that you're gay. It's that you're a gay degenerate whore, and what bothers me most is you do not get to appropriate the flat top crew cut.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that, you dress like an awful tough guy there.
Yeah.
You dress like Guile from Street
Exactly.
Yes.
Throwing Sonic
the
poo.
worst character.
And Igor, that's the first gay man named Igor, but it makes sense because that video is monstrous.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. That's not making it into the set.
All right, let's grab some more
It's a fun one.
It is a good one.
It's a good dad
I think
joke.
it's a good one.
It is.
Well, I mean, not technically, because I would never let my son watch that.
What are you telling me? What are you telling me there, children?
Received your mug in 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Right now we're on Rumble. If you, but MugClub, loudwithcrowder.com/MugClub, $30 off. So this is right now. You're seeing kind of what we do every day. We have additional segments. We take your chats exclusively. The promo code is $30 off. Free speech.
Free speech.
The promo code is free speech. You get $30 off. I'm running on 2 hours sleep.
2 hours. You got that much, huh?
Yeah, I know. And it's, you know what, the truth is, people ask me. I had some people ask me, does this really bother? No, it doesn't bother me, honestly. I'm exhausted because I know that we have to fight this. I've resigned myself to every day. This is something we have to fight. That's why we have legal experts on retainers, commonly referred to as lawyers. I thought it sounded more smart if I said legal experts.
More smart.
I'm in the Sam Harris mode, sounding really smart and saying nothing.
That's my shtick.
So,
it's what I do. Nah, you don't sound smart.
You don't sound smart.
I blew off my thumb.
You blew off my thumb, Charlie.
Now that we have Rumble, this is a different situation. So this has happened before in the past where holy crap, this could be it, and we had no place to go. So now that there's a place like Rumble, and that we've gotten you guys over to Rumble, this makes it to where if this happens, that's a different story.
Yeah,
still rough.
And let me give you an accurate assessment here, okay? Just we've always talked about this. Louder with Crowder, right? I've owned it since I've been doing this since I've had the YouTube channel since 2006, but I started doing political videos in 2009, and there were different iterations, and I've licensed it to different people. And I'm incredibly grateful. This has actually changed the way people look at subscriptions, Mug Club, where there are enough that Dave and I can actually sell out venues just from the show on Mug Club. Enough people are watching on Mug Club. So I'll tell you this, it's enough to actually be a real show, not people who just sort of play show and ask you for money and they have a couple hundred people watching. But it's not. We're not at the point where we can expand and produce all of the other shows and content that we want to. That's where we rely on you, and we really do appreciate everybody who joins. Pardon our dust. Wait till you see what we'd love to offer you down the trail. We're not quite there yet. So we're certainly further along down the trail than a lot of the Patreons and people who are kind of, and I understand why some people do that, but the problem with a lot of these platforms is they can deplatform you, just like Shopify with us. Yeah. Remember they removed us, Shopify, and they didn't even give us a reason. So if Mug Club grows to the level that we'd like it to here in the next couple of years, it would be completely uncancelable. And you guys can see from the chat, if you're watching on Mug Club, the community, honestly, I can't tell you how grateful I am. I think I speak here for everyone, and everyone here has been working really hard over the last 24 hours, considering that this, this dirty bomb just came down.
I was in the pool. I mean, y'all were working really hard.
You don't have a pool.
The community pool.
Oh.
I don't have one in my backyard.
Did you check your shoes when you came back to see if your money was still in there?
I was in the lake.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. He wasn't.
No, I wasn't anywhere near one.
He wasn't. He was pepper sprayed by the lake.
Yes.
Let's grab another chat.
Okay, Building or Burning Bridges asks, the Bible says to pray for your leaders and to pray for your enemies. How do we pray effectively for Biden? May he repent and be saved.
I pray that he gets his hands on some levodopa. Next question. No, sorry, you wanted to answer?
No, I was going to say you're called to pray for your leaders.
That was medically accurate humor, by the way.
It was, actually. Very nice. I pray that he has...
It's a drug they use for dementia.
Yeah. No, but I mean...
I liked it.
You want to pray.
I left.
That's the thing. Pray for him.
Gerald wants to be all high and mighty.
Yeah. Let me put on my Sam Harris cap.
All right. Put it on.
Go ahead.
It's a dick. It's the rhino.
Or as Yakuza sees it, a seat.
Yeah, would it get me elected if I had one of those on my forehead? No, you're supposed to pray for your leaders, right? Because they're the people that are in charge right now, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And we want them to do the right thing. We want them to make godly decisions in life. And a lot of times we just yell and shake our fist. But that's one of the things that we can do as Christians is pray, like, God, like somehow, some way, get to them and help them to understand that they are taking us down the wrong path. Like the moral... The things going on here would make people in Sodom and Gomorrah blush.
You don't pray for comfort for someone like you pray for redemption.
Yeah.
You pray that it becomes the third act of Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, it can be very difficult. Like it can be like, hey, God, bring them to their senses. Could be, hey, they need a rock bottom moment to see that they are not able to do this on their own and that they're going the wrong direction. Sometimes that's what it takes. But whatever it is, but for the grace of God, I would be making really bad decisions too. And so I'm glad somebody was praying for me down the line as well.
Yeah.
So.
I know it wasn't me.
No, not you at all.
No, of course I wasn't. Then you found your wife, so you owe me a
praying
commission.
against me, honestly. That was weird.
I just pray that he gets the right amount of applesauce today.
Yes, yeah, me too. And also that it's pre-digested.
Yes, well, of course.
Like Goldblum and the Fly.
You can't have it. You can't have it.
By the way, it's
chunky.
You know what's funny is you mentioned rock bottom. So for people who don't know, I'm from Montreal, and if in the chat you can let me know if you're a Quebecer. I had a friend who was a comic. He was from Pierrefonds, and I never thought of this growing up, but it's French, and it literally translates to rock bottom.
Really?
Yes. Imagine if you lived in a city called Rock Bottom and it was a crap hole. That's Pierrefonds.
And you were the poorest person in rock bottom.
I couldn't. I was like, you're right. They named it Rock Bottom. All right.
I don't want to be the richest person in rock bottom.
Yeah.
You'd be like, walk around there like, wow, look at him. He's got $40.
Yes.
Just you could buy anything from McDonald's he wants.
Oh man, he just bought 2 burgers.
Let's grab another chat there. Let's grab 2 more, and then we got to get going. Thank you guys so much for being with us here today, this weekend. Of course, we'll be on Rumble for the next two weeks.
I think we're only off YouTube a week, but we'll have to.
Are you sure?
We'll have to confirm.
All right.
Confirm.
No promises.
All right. Geronimo asks, do you think law-abiding citizens should be able to own full autos? I do 100%.
Well, yeah, and you can.
What you can do? Drive a half car? Stupid ass.
Yeah, you know what we call, you know what I call semi-automatic, we call them in this office, semi-automatics?
Yeah.
For pussies.
Yeah.
No. You can get a fully automatic weapon. It requires, I don't exactly know if it's just like a class 3 stamp, if it's the same thing as a suppressor. So I haven't done it, but you can. It's just you have to jump through a lot of hoops. So, yeah, look, people often say this, like, what do you think you're entitled to a nuclear weapon? No, look, that's not a defensive tool. Let's also be clear about the sort of cutoff point. If it's no longer something that can be used defensively, like a firearm, or yes, like a cannon on a ship, if it's only a tool that can be used offensively, like a nuke, that's a different level, okay? But you should absolutely, of course, be allowed to, I think, own a fully automatic weapon. If I'm not mistaken, control room, fact check this for me right now. I think there's been one mass shooting using a fully automatic weapon.
Do you know which one?
No, I don't know, but I think it's very, very few. They are not used in mass shootings. It's incredibly rare. So this idea that fully automatic weapons, this is why they try and, of course, muddy the waters, where it's semi-automatic that can... Yeah. Semi-automatic is this. Semi-automatic is almost all handguns outside of revolvers. It's a good portion of rifles, right? Semi-automatic means...
Part of my ignorance, would like a Tommy gun back in the day qualify?
That would be an automatic.
An automatic?
Yeah.
Fully
That just means you keep holding the trigger and keeps firing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's one of those things. It's not very practical. They're very difficult.
They're very difficult. But I mean, I guess if they'll be St. Valentine's Day Massacre or something like that.
Yeah, if you line them up against the wall from 5 feet away.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Then they're incredibly effective.
There's also 9 people shooting.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that makes it hard.
I saw some like it hot. All right, I know you're looking that up there, Tokenon. Let's grab another chat.
Well, hold on. By the way, you just mentioned something that suppressors were in that same category. How many mass shootings with suppressors?
You know what's fun? I don't know the number. Is that a trick question?
No,
do you know the answer?
It's the dumbest thing in the world to have suppressors. They're like, what do you think? Everybody's going to be a hitman if you just let them buy them like a gun?
Yeah. Well, you finished your phrase. You said it's the dumbest thing in the world to have suppressors. You mean to have them on that list?
Have them on that list. Yes, thank you.
Because people take that out of context.
Flip
Like,
that out of context.
Gerald said he hates suppressors. No, actually, as a matter of fact, this is one of those issues. Once you remove the politicization of it, you know, in the UK, if I don't know the exact laws, but if I'm not mistaken, it's actually considered rude to hunt without a suppressor because of the noise pollution. Yeah. It's a non-issue there. Now, of course, you can't really own firearms for defensive uses in a lot of these, European countries or in places like Canada. You have to have it locked up, disassembled with the ammo, put in a thumbprint safe that requires Face ID software to open it up. It's basically rendered useless. But if you're actually going out hunting, in a lot of these countries, they actually expect you to use a suppressor where possible. It's just here in the United States, largely because of Hollywood. People think that it's pew, pew, which if you've ever fired with a suppressor, is not even close.
Nobody will hear it, even if they're 5 feet away.
And is that like a silencer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, they're quite loud.
Yeah, they are quite loud.
Yeah, it didn't work for me.
But they're not like leave your ears ringing loud if you shoot it in your house at an intruder.
Woke up half the apartment complex.
So,
no, they still could, depending on what you're using, and that largely depends on velocity too. There's some calibers that are more effectively suppressed because they don't travel as quickly.
Right.
That's a big part of it, right? People understand, like if you're talking about a Magnum load, like you're talking about breaking the sound barrier, so a loud crack. The point is, suppressors don't really work that way. The only exception, before you want to fact check me, is yes, you can use subsonic 22 ammunition in a rifle with a suppressor, and it's pretty damn quiet. But it wasn't even enough. Wasn't even enough power to cycle the action on the rifle that I.
What about a
nickname
potato?
in high school was Magnum Load.
Yeah.
No,
you and no one.
You can put a potato on the end. I've seen that in movies.
Yeah, that's true.
On the end of my it's a different topic.
Dave.
Okay, Hunter.
What?
Yeah.
Gonna measure it by
Can you
potatoes.
actually-
one potato,
With
one potato.
That wouldn't work.
What are you
at all,
trying to
right?
get Ronald McDonald?
What, a
to come
potato?
after you?
Yeah.
I know that putting two
Yes.
pillows on it, like in Payback, works a little bit. They did it on Mythbusters, but I don't know how accurate that is.
They did?
Yeah,
Did it work
it
at
doesn't
all?
completely eliminate it, but
No,
it
of
does
course.
silence it somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the JFK shot too, where it's like made it look kind of possible, but it's
Yeah.
like he still did it a whole bunch of times before. And it doesn't really.
I really don't think you should need to have you should have to go through that paperwork for a suppressor, silencer, before you fact check me, whichever term you want to use.
stupid.
I don't really care. And fully automatic weapons. That's one. Of course, I think that people should be able to own them if you're a law-abiding citizen, and it's a non-issue as far as mass shootings.
Fully semi-automatic.
Yeah, full
I
semi-automatic.
can't believe that guy said that.
The AR-M16.
Is that the guy who pointed at the jury?
Yes.
It's an AK-57.
No, it was the IRS agent who just pointed it at the guy in front of her.
Exactly.
Did we find that, the fully automatic? Like
They're still looking. It seems like it's so few that it's kind of hard to find the number. There was a recent one in Sacramento where a guy used a fully auto pistol that he bought it. It was semi-auto, and then he converted it to fully auto.
Oh, okay.
Well, so that's sort of not the same.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. That's not legal.
Yeah.
Because he didn't go through the process to purchase the. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, it's very rare. Let's grab a final chat, and then we will see you on Monday. If we don't have to do an emergency stream regarding the affidavit stuff, I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll see.
I wouldn't hold my breath. I don't think they're going to. I don't
It may
think they're
take a
going to
little
unseal
while,
it.
and they may not do it.
Yeah, it takes a while to get the.
Hello, my darlings. Okay, darlings, I'm going to end this now because I'll be honest, this was quite boring. Louder with Crowder, usually the first hour, I think, is their best stuff. And then they go to this extra hour mug club, which I thought I was missing out on some really juicy stuff, but they're not really that juicy. To be perfectly honest with you, a lot of the stuff is kind of bleh. I thought I was missing out on something. I'm glad I actually got to see this particular. Oh, sorry, hold on. Yeah, I'm glad I got to see this the extra mug club hour, because I honestly thought I was missing out on some critical piece of info, just like the part of the show. I was actually even thinking about joining the mug club just to see what this extra hour is like, and now that I see it, it's nothing really at all. maybe the other shows are better. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they've got other shows which are better than this one, but yeah, it wasn't. I don't feel like I missed anything not being part of the Steven Crowder mug club, apart from the dildo test. Yeah, really. Like, I mean, the thing is that dildo test, is it penis or dildo or whatever? You can actually get that on YouTube anyway. It's not like, that's available on YouTube right now, and that's what they were complaining about. Like, if you talk about election meddling or the vax or the C-19, you could get banned off YouTube. But if you have a show which says where a man is bent over with a curtain over his back, and he has to detect whether it's a real penis or a dildo, that's okay. That's okay. That's a perfectly acceptable show on YouTube. But God forbid if you talk about vax. Holy crap. I mean, when people say you were living in clown world, this is what they mean. When it's acceptable to have dildo or penis, but if you actually dare to discuss anything to do with real issues, like the jib jab or C-19 or elections, no, that's not acceptable. I guess really what they're telling us, and this is what we've known for a long time on TikTok anyway, is that these corporations are trying to manipulate us to talk about certain things and think about certain things, and things like, whether it's dildo or penis is acceptable for you to don't think about elections. Don't think about real things. Don't think about things that could potentially affect the course of your country, or things that the government tells you to put in your body, which could be suspect. No. Don't think about those things. Think about sit down and watch shows like Big Brother, Celebrity, Love Island, or whatever the fuck they are. The Real Housewives, keeping up with the Cardis, keeping up. I don't know, Big Brother. Just mindless, dumbass shit. And I'll be honest, I know a lot of people who are into anime, and I have to say, on Netflix, when I subscribe to Netflix for just a month, and I'm gonna cancel it actually this month. I subscribed for a month just to see a couple of shows which I couldn't get elsewhere with like a translated into English. Especially I ended up watching Squid Game as well, which was also awesome. But yeah, don't worry. When I loaded up the Netflix subscription, I realized it's just like a ton of anime just popped up without me. This was a blank account, no search history, no anything else. So it could have recommended anything to me, but it just recommended a ton of anime almost straight away, and it was just anime after anime. And I can see why, because young people are probably engrossed into this world of anime. Naburu, or I don't know, fucking Avatar, the Airbender, and all the rest of them, Pokemons, whatever the hell the kids watch these days. I don't really follow the anime scenes in the 2000s. I only followed the anime scenes when it was Akira and North of the Fist of the North Star and the Return of the Overfiend and just insane shit like that. So I never really followed anime in modern era. So I'm old school manga. I'm not new anime. I don't really care about new anime. Naturu, I don't know. I even like that Street Fighter, the animated movie as well, the manga version. But anyway, I digress. What I noticed is that I think a lot of kids, or a lot of young people, young men probably especially, are just engrossed in this anime crap. And I suppose from that also gaming, which is also very anime looking characters, with Fortnite and all these other characters. So that's it. That's what they want you to do. You can sit and look at and listen to bullshit like that all day long, and these corporations will be absolutely perfect. They'll be happy as Larry. Yeah. Think about mindless shit. Think about your next dance routine on TikTok. But God forbid if you talk about the Chinese banking system that is in just shambles right now. They're literally denying people money. No, don't mention shit like that. I think if you even mention that on TikTok, you get immediately banned. So yeah, that's how it is. And from what I hear, TikTok China actually encourages people and only feeds people, or lets you go viral. The algorithm allows you to go viral if you're doing science and maths and real educational stuff. And also if you're a feminine man, they're banning those. Whilst in Europe and sort of rest of the world type of thing, TikTok only encourages you if you're doing stupid dances and just moronic shit. So again, it just I don't know, man. I'm rambling. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end this. I might start another stream a little bit later on. I don't know, because we've got Citizen Sid on Speakers Corner Online doing a show from 8 till 9. I may do a show after her show because I don't want to clash with her show. And also Manny Cinder is doing a show on Speakers Corner Online tomorrow, as far as I know. So if you guys get an opportunity, if you're around, if you're already not subscribed to that particular channel, go over there, Speakers Corner Online, subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I do a lot of my shows there now. The most consistent one is on Wednesdays 8 till 9. So that's where you catch me most of the time. So if you're not subscribed to that, go there and sub to that, because if you want to catch some of my stuff, then you're most likely going to catch it there. Take care, Victoria. Have a wonderful day. Thank you everyone for coming. Yeah, it's best to leave it for now. And yeah, Steven Crowder, He's all right. I like the first hour, but I think the second hour, not really worth it. If this is an example of what the second hour is usually like. Yeah, the Mug Club thing just didn't do it for me. Anyway, guys and girls, let me leave you with this. Thank you for coming. I love you all, and ciao.